just Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to do like a little face-to-face thing, which I think we would have expected anyway. I haven't seen any matches announced. In fact, you really do notice the difference between WWE and AEW. AEW do a very good job of telling you like a week in advance what next week's matches are going to be. And certainly on the day of the show, they tend to tweet out like about 7 or 8 things. They even helpfully put them all onto one image so that you can see everything that is going to be on the show, or certainly most things. With WWE, you never really know what's going to be on SmackDown or what's going to be on Raw. They might tell you like one match or something, but yeah, we haven't really got any kind of a preview tonight. As we said, WWE have not provided any kind of a preview. So whatever. We'll see what we've got. It's SmackDown. I'm hopeful that it's going to be great. It usually is. And of course, we've got all the fallout from Fastlane. So I'm sure we're going to see Big E and Apollo. Rumors are that Daniel Bryan is going to get added to that Roman Reigns Edge main event. We obviously don't know how, but rumors are he will be added to that at WrestleMania. Again, I think we're all expecting that. Of course, we're building towards Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair as well. So that's now that we're past the tag team nonsense. Now, hopefully, we can focus on like a really good build. So we've got that also. And of course, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So yeah, there's quite a bit going on at the moment. Hoping for a few twists and turns, a few nice surprises, a few talking points. Not sure where they're going to come from, to be honest, because everything feels like it's falling into place. So I'm not sure where these shocks or twists or turns are going to be coming from. Hopefully we get something. It might be a bit of a boring road if for the next few weeks everything just heads in the direction it's going in, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure someone will do something. Yeah, we've got hopefully a fun show tonight. Harley said, Days tonight is the night. I hope they revive the Belair Sasha story so that they can main event. And I hope we get Zayn and Owens at Mania. I think we will. I think we will get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Either that or they'll team together, but it seems like there's a bit of an issue between them that needs to get sorted out. I mean, there's always an issue between them. So hopefully we do get that match, because I do think it would be a great match. In regards to Sasha and Bianca, it was great to see that trending the other day. I think it was make Banks and Belair the main event, I think was the hashtag. It was something along those lines. I think we spoke about it the other day that I threw my support. I tweeted that out as well. I really think they should be the main event of night one. I know there's a few people that disagree because of the build, but that's not their fault, is it? That's not their fault. Like, Bianca has won the Royal Rumble, and Royal Rumble winners should main event the show. That's the prize. And I don't buy into this. There's multiple main events. I can understand that where you've got 2 nights, you can have 2 main events, but this is only the second time that we're doing this. WrestleMania 35, 34, 33, they were trying to tell us there was multiple main events, and it's like, no. Look, whatever closes the show, that's the main event. You can't really have multiple main events unless you're doing 2 days, which is what we are. Yeah, I agree. I hope it does close the one night. I hope the build improves, and they absolutely deserve to be closing. I would say night one. I do think that Roman, in particular, is a bigger star than either Sasha or Bianca, and certainly Edge as well. So I just think that because they're bigger names, because they're really all over the show. I mean, from the start of the show to the end of the show, it tends to be the Roman feud that gets put front and center. So for that reason, that would be my main event for night 2. Honestly, I don't think it's a problem that Drew and Lashley are the co-main event of night 1. I think that's absolutely fine. And then maybe Asuka against Rhea is the co-main event of night 2. And I think that would be fine also. So, Days, can I get a shout out? Bryan, shout out to you. JS17, hope you are well. Brony says, I don't want Bryan to be added in the triple threat because if that happens, Edge is most likely to win. I don't know. I mean, if Daniel gets added, I think almost certainly he's only being added to take the pin or get submitted. I don't know if it absolutely guarantees that it's going to be a case that Thingy's going to win, Edge is going to win. I think there's still a very, very good chance that Roman could win. Either way, it's Edge that takes the pin, though. I'm sure of that. Edge, Daniel Bryan that takes the pin. So yeah, I'm sure of that. I also don't want him added. I think a singles match is the right way forward. I kind of feel that when you think about the history of iconic matches, I don't know if there's too many triple threats that come to mind. I mean, I'm sure you can, if you really think about it, think of some, but there's way, way more great singles matches. It's not like every triple threat match knocks it out the park. There's been some bad triple threat matches as well, so adding more doesn't mean the match is better. So, yeah, I think one-on-one match. Let's find out who's the best. I'd love for it to be clean. Like, I don't want Jay getting involved and all of that. Keep it clean, and we'll find out. Let's find out who is the head of the table. Is it Roman or is it Edge? And having Daniel in it does just kind of mess it up a little. So, yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Joaquin, I don't think she's going to read this out for you, so I will do it. Joaquin Uribe is a legend and donated $1.99. Days, can you organize the WrestleMania week? What do you mean by organize the WrestleMania week? We are streaming every day that week for quite a long time each day because obviously we'll have our usual Raw stream on the Monday. We've then got Hall of Fame on the Tuesday. We've then got AEW and NXT TakeOver Night 1 on the Wednesday. We've then got NXT TakeOver Night 2 on the Thursday. We've got SmackDown on the Friday. We've got WrestleMania Night 1 on the Saturday. WrestleMania Night 2 on the Sunday. Raw on the Monday. NXT then moves to a Tuesday. Of course, we've got NWA on a Tuesday as well. So we'll have those on the Tuesdays. We've got NXT on a Tuesday. Then, obviously, AEW on the Wednesday. It looks like Wrestling Escape Pod will move to Thursdays. So it looks like we'll be doing Escape Pods on Thursdays. So that gets dropped in as well. Obviously, SmackDown. We've got UFC on the Saturdays as well. Apparently, there is a fight night the same night as WrestleMania. So, yeah, I mean, it's every single day. Every single day we will be here. So, if you are watching and you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe. Make sure that you are joining us because whatever goes down in the world of wrestling, in the world of UFC, we will be covering it. I mean, I'm quite happy to go anywhere with any conversation, but yeah, we will be here for it. It's going to be an absolutely manic couple of weeks. Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Aleister Black, Tamina, tag teams. What, you'd put all of those names in tag teams, Lila? Zane Film says Drew versus Lashley should main event night 1. So both Raw and SmackDown get their main event storylines. Right now, having a main event match at WrestleMania. But that's an interesting way of looking at it. So, the biggest match from SmackDown gets the main event of night 2. The biggest match from Raw gets the main event of night 1. It's an interesting way of looking at it. In fairness, it's a way that I hadn't thought about, because obviously Sasha and Bianca are SmackDown, and Roman and Edge and Daniel is SmackDown. So that would mean that SmackDown is main event in both nights. But to be honest, I think SmackDown's the better show. I think it's got the better stories. I think that it's not a surprise to me that Sasha Bianca make them the main event was trending, to be honest. I saw it, and I can't say I was too surprised. First of all, Sasha's got more stands than I've had hot dinners. So, if she wasn't main eventing, she could be facing her shadow, and they would still want it to be the main event. So, for that reason alone, I wasn't too surprised. But I do think that, the women should main event. The women should main event. I think it's bad PR. I kind of think, if you win the Rumble, you main event WrestleMania. We've got a 2-day WrestleMania. And if they didn't want it to be 2 SmackDown main events, maybe they should have thought about that when they had Bianca win. Maybe they should have thought about that, and maybe they should have gone with Rhea Ripley winning instead. And then we could have had Rhea Ripley versus Asuka as the main event of night 1, and we could have had a good build on that. But I'm pleased they went with Bianca winning. And to be honest, even with that Raw SmackDown thing, I would still do 2 SmackDown matches as the main event. But an excellent point, because I hadn't considered it that way. That's why I really love these streams, because a lot of stuff can get thrown in that you don't think about. A lot of stuff can get thrown in that you didn't really consider, and I didn't consider it that way, that they're splitting it as Raw and SmackDown. So, yeah, shout out to you. That's a good way of looking at it. Hasib said, are you ready for a huge night tomorrow? Povetkin versus White and UFC 260. Yes, massive day tomorrow. We have got some of the biggest, heaviest, baddest people on the planet fighting tomorrow. We've got the UFC heavyweight champion, Stipe Miocic. Obviously, that's the belt that Brock Lesnar held. I don't think there's any denying that Stipe is a better heavyweight than Brock. I would expect Stipe to beat Brock. And he's taking on Ngannou. I would expect Ngannou to beat Brock as well. So Stipe versus Ngannou. Really, we are trying to find who is the baddest fighter in the planet. Who is the man? That is mouth-watering. That is a pretty major main event. So we've got that. And obviously Povetkin versus White, 2 of the greatest boxing heavyweights in the world right now. They could, after this, go on to fight for a title. So they really are right up there when it comes to the boxing as well. So, yeah, we will do both. I still can't figure out how to do it. Last time we did a boxing stream and then ended and and then started a UFC stream. I don't know whether that was the right way forward or if we just carry on. Do you know what I mean? I can't tell. I don't know what the right thing to do is. I need to make a decision, but I still haven't made it. I don't know whether we're doing it, but I don't know if it'll be 2 separate streams or if it'll be just one continuous stream. The only problem with one continuous stream is that could go for about 12 hours. So tomorrow's going to be epic. This is the busiest time of the year. Harley says, I would prefer Roman versus Edge, but Roman versus Edge versus Bryan should still be awesome. It reminds me of Bryan trying to get into that title match in 2014. It's got those vibes. It feels obviously different. There's no fans, and Daniel Bryan without fans it's a bit strange. Daniel Bryan needs fans, really. And so it's a little bit strange that he's kind of going in and people aren't that bothered. Daniel Bryan was the people's champion. Daniel Bryan was huge. And you fast forward or everything he's been through in the past 7 years, all the injuries that he's had and had to try and overcome, and then the heel turn, and then going back to being face, and the pandemic, and it's just been, since that moment, it's been very messy, hasn't it, for Daniel Bryan? I would say, like, it was really good for those 4 years from when he came in to when he got to 30. Like, people were on board with him, and he had some great matches, and he had a lot of promise and a lot of excitement, and the fans really loved watching him. And then the 7 years since have been a bit rough. So it's a shame, really. It's a shame that he'll be going in and, like, people don't really want it. So I don't know. I don't know how you get that back with Daniel Bryan, but it's a shame. It's just weird. It's weird comparing the two. Alex says, in my opinion, the Fiend and Orton match should main event night 1, and Edge versus Roman should main event night 2. Austin says, this time it's very different. Everyone wanted Bryan at 30. This time around, most don't. LSW says, is there any news on Ortega versus Volkanovski? No. I don't think they're going to know that yet until they know, because it was COVID related, I believe. So maybe once they get a bit of clarity on that, then we can move forward with getting a new date. Very exciting about Misha Tate coming back. I always liked her. She was a very good fighter. She went off and had a family. She's still quite young, though. So, she's coming back. If she looks good, if she, can really put some wins together, that would be a decent name then that could start, looking at a title shot. Because it's hard to find women for UFC champions to face because they're so dominant. So trying to find any kind of credible challenger is a challenge in itself. So Misha Tate coming back is quite interesting news. And actually, we're going to see some very good prospects tomorrow. Really keeping an eye on the likes of Miranda Maverick and Gillian Robertson. Both of those look like they could go on to do something. Miranda Maverick in particular. Gillian Robertson seems to struggle with consistency. But if Miranda Maverick can really put it together, she could make a bit of a run for a title shot. So they're on the card tomorrow. Obviously, Ngannou and Stipe. Woodley against Luque. That should be a great fight. In fact, there's quite a few great fights tomorrow. Not many fights tomorrow. There's only 10. That's what makes me think it's not going to be the longest night. So as a result, do we do the boxing and just go straight into UFC? So I'm probably leaning that way. Mania week will be no sleep week, says James Chadwick. Absolutely. Bryan said, what is your favorite wrestler? I really like, well, there's a few actually. Favorite right now would be Roman. I think whenever Roman comes out, I think his segments are always interesting. I think his promos have improved drastically from where we were a few years ago. I think his heel turn has been a great success. Putting him with Paul Heyman has been brilliant. The stories have been great. It's been really solid, really good stuff. What excites me even more is it can get better. Because I think his feud with Kevin Owens was very good, but I don't think anyone believed that Kevin Owens was going to win. But what happens when we get past WrestleMania and he starts feuding with Big E, or he starts feuding with Cesaro? Do you know what I mean? Like, could they put the title on one of those? Could one of those be who beats Roman? I mean, obviously he's got to get past Edge, and a lot of people are saying he won't, and that's understandable. I think Edge will go into WrestleMania as favorite, but I hope he gets past Edge. And because I would love to see Roman Cesaro, but with the title on the line. Like, Roman against Cesaro without the belt would be great. But I think we all want that Cesaro moment. We all want Cesaro to reach the top. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel that there's more stories or better stories for Roman to stay champion than there would be for Edge as champion. So I would keep the belt on Roman, but it's great. So I would say Roman, but I do love Thunder Rosa. I do love Miko Satomura. I do love Volta, of course. How could I forget? He might be right. He might be my favorite. He's right up there. He's right up there. He is dripping with cool. So yeah, Volta would be right up there as well. I don't know. There's a few. Asuka, of course. I haven't even mentioned Asuka. So, and I love Zoe Stark in NXT. She's probably my favorite new wrestler of 20. She gets my new wrestler of 2021 award. So, and it's only March. So, well done to Zoe Stark for winning that award. So yeah, there's some decent wrestlers out there. There's some interesting stuff going on. Hasib says, Days, do you think that Sheamus will be added to the title match? Both world titles as triple threats. No, I think Sheamus is going off for a little feud with Riddle. So I think we're getting Sheamus Riddle. James Chadwick said, England beat India. Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't see. I tend to go to bed about lunchtime. And when I went to bed, we'd just got Virat Kohli out. And India were looking okay. And they went on to get a really big score, actually. But I never saw that. And I never saw England's comeback. And so, yeah, good result. Really good result. And a good result for England the other day in the football as well, beating San Marino 5-0. You would expect it to be about that, but you've still got to go out there and do it. So fair play to England for doing that as well. Jim Gore, shout out to you, says tonight is also Ring of Honor's 19th anniversary pay-per-view with Jay Lethal versus Roosh for the Ring of Honor World Championship. That's cool. I didn't know that was tonight. That's very cool. I like Ring of Honor. I've got a lot of time for Ring of Honor. If you think of the talent that has come through there, and when I did watch some Ring of Honor, it was that pure tournament thing, which I was really enjoying. But for whatever reason, it's just, there's so much wrestling. It's so difficult to add more to your schedule. It's the same with MLW. Like, I really want to support that more. I should support that more because I think what they're doing is really good stuff as well. So, yeah, nothing but love for Ring of Honor and MLW. I think there's quite a vibrant wrestling scene out there, which hopefully will get even stronger once the world comes out of the pandemic. Hayden, I'm good, thank you. I hope you are well also. Days, will you do the NXT UK Prelude? Yes, we'll do it. I think that's on the 3rd. Oh, man, how are we going to do that? I mean, I think there's a great chance there won't be a Wrestling Escape Pod, maybe WrestleMania week. I have no idea. I mean, I'm up for doing one if we can fit it in somewhere. I mean, as long as Tommy's flexible to fit it in, then, because I think the NXT UK Prelude is on the Thursday. I mean, I'm free whenever, you know. I'm just, all I do is sit and stream, so we are all over that week. That week, easy 100 hours streaming, easy. So that's going to be a monstrous week, absolutely monstrous week. Chan doesn't stream enough already. Oh no. Madness. Austin says, I want to see Sheamus against Riddle for the US title. He's been doing his best work for a long, long time. So it would be cool to see him get the title. But I think they would give Riddle the win. NXT UK Prelude. Yes, I haven't seen much about it. I don't know why they're calling it Prelude. I'm guessing it's so that it doesn't confuse people. Because if they call it NXT UK Takeover and they put it on just before NXT Takeover, like that might confuse people. So NXT UK Prelude is, I believe, on the Thursday, and it's a special show that's going to have some decent matches on it, and it will lead into Stand and Deliver Night 2. So, yes, we will be doing both. Days, did you hear Lucha Underground could be coming back, which means more wrestling? I didn't hear that, no. I would love it if it did. And I would love it if it was on TV, because I wasn't able to watch it when it was on last time, and I still haven't seen it. Well, not all of it. I've seen a good chunk of season 1, but I haven't really seen anything from season 2 or 3, and I don't even know if they did a 4. I think they did. So I think we got up to season 4. So anyway, I didn't see any of that. I didn't see because Thunder Rosa was in Lucha Underground, and Io Shirai was in Lucha Underground, and Ricochet was in Lucha Underground. I remember when I first saw Lucha Underground, I remember watching them thinking, where have they found these? Like, these are some of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. They were incredible. Like, the flips and just... But the way they were doing it, it wasn't just, like, doing it for the sake of doing it. Like, they were really laying stuff in. So if they did a flip, the splash at the end was hard, or they'd flip into the corner, really, like, throw an elbow. It was good. You really felt like you was watching something quite gritty. And, like, obviously the arena felt quite dirty and messed up. And Lucha Underground was awesome. Really, yeah, from what I saw, I could have been a big fan of it. And, which will surprise people. And I have mentioned this before, because I believe there was even a bit of a supernatural element to it. I never really saw that, but I believe the backstories were a little bit mythology, maybe. I'm all right with that if that's the world. Do you know what I mean? If everyone's got a backstory like that, and you know that's what the show is, I can vibe with that. I've said before, I would be fine if the Fiend had his own like show, not his own show, but say WWE did WWE After Dark. WWE After Dark every Wednesday on the network, and it's a new show that's more supernatural orientated, and you could have the Fiend, and you could have Alexa, and they could try and get Abaddon, and they could try and get Xia Li, and they could really go with like a supernatural thing for her. They could then bring back, I don't know, Boogeyman, or have Undertaker as GM, and Kane, and whatever you want to do, right? And just go crazy. Do you know what I mean? If you want to make it, like, if you want supernatural stuff, go for it. Have a show dedicated to it. I think part of the problem with the supernatural stuff is it doesn't connect with the rest of the show. So, like, the commentators don't know what to say. After those segments, they're just like, wow, I don't know what we saw there, but let's move on, because now we've got Dana Brooke in the ring, and they have no idea how to talk about what they've just seen and how to move to the next segment, because it's so jarring. It doesn't fit with the world, the rest of the universe that's happening, because it is so different. They just can't tell those stories. They just can't do it. The company's not built up to do it. They just can't do it. So give them their own show. We spoke about this a while ago. And then, because everything would be kicking off and you'd never know what you was going to see, that might work. So I think, like, fans of the supernatural stuff, I think would really, well, I would hope they would enjoy that. And I think for those that aren't, it moves it away from, like, Raw and SmackDown. So if you don't want to watch that, you haven't got to. If you do want to watch that, there's a whole show for you. So that feels like a great compromise. That feels like a way forward. That feels like it works and it's fair for everyone. So I would definitely be voting for that we go that way. But and actually, I would probably even watch that supernatural show. I'd probably even watch it, because it's kind of like, here's this is what you're watching. This is what you're tuning in for. Let's have no mistake about it. This is a supernatural show, supernatural wrestling. This is the world that they all live in. Accept it or don't, and that's it. And I think you've got that agreement before you even press play, or you even turn it on. Yes, I'm willing to accept this. Kind of like with a Marvel film. Do you know what I mean? When you watch Marvel, you're kind of accepting that this is what happens. Yes, someone can fly. Yes, someone can shoot ice or whatever they do. I don't know. But you're accepting that when you press play. I'm willing to suspend my disbelief. And I am willing to do that. I would be willing to do that. And I'd be willing to do that with Lucha Underground as well. Because, again, you've got that agreement, haven't you? Of, yes, I am willing to accept that this is happening in a different world, a parallel universe. That's where it's happening. It's happening in a parallel universe. So, yeah, I'd be pleased if it comes back. I'd be definitely up for checking it out. Definitely up for checking it out. William Hensey, shout out to you, says, hey, Days, hope you are well. I'm good, thank you. I hope you are well also. Jim Gore says, on NXT UK, they are starting to focus on the White Witch part of Isla Dawn. I don't mind that. I mean, I kind of feel that, I mean, look, it's been shot in the BT Sports Studio. There's been no supernatural stuff on NXT UK. If it's going to be she's going to get into, like, tarot cards and she's going to get into, like, the dark arts and maybe, a couple of things could happen. You can have coincidences in the world. Like, this is what that's where I like to be. I like to be in the mystery part of things, the mind games part of things. It doesn't have to be supernatural part of things. Just because she did something and later in the show something happened doesn't mean they're connected. It could be connected. And that to me is a lot more interesting, a lot more intriguing. So I wouldn't mind if they explored that. But obviously if she's going to now start shooting fireballs out of her hands and, do you know what I mean, have flames jumping up out the ring, then I'd be out then. Maths in real time says, surprise, it's me, but math, not gaming. So we got math in real. What's happened? Have you given up gaming? Has the world of math taken you now? Please respond. Days, how are you doing? I'm excited for another watch along. I'm doing good, thank you. I love these like hours that we have before because it allows us just to go wherever I have no idea what the conversation's going to be, and whatever people throw out, that's where we go. And I really enjoy this hour to sit and just have a chat and throw theories around and whatever. I'm looking forward to SmackDown. But unfortunately, WWE haven't really given us anything to talk about in regards to SmackDown. So let me just have a quick look and we'll see if there's any matches that have been announced yet. If we go SmackDown, here we go. Because there wasn't earlier, although Dominic Mysterio has arrived at SmackDown and he is wearing an Eddie Guerrero shirt. That's true story, by the way. There's the picture. There he is, look. Right, so Dominic's arrived. While the world waits, Logan Paul has got the answers. So Sami Zayn talking about how the world is against him and how there's conspiracies against him. Logan Paul has tweeted out, I checked it out. You might be onto something. So there's something going on with Logan Paul. See, this is what happens. Yeah, we've let Bad Bunny in, and now all the flipping celebrities think they can come along. So now, like, Logan Paul's doing some stuff with WWE. Nothing. Still nothing. That's pretty poor, isn't it? That's pretty poor. To not give us any kind of announcement. They're probably literally writing the show right now. Harley said, Days, fun fact, Logan has got 5 years of wrestling experience and a few years of MMA and now a few years of boxing. So if he fights in WWE, I wouldn't mind it. I do know that he has some, is it collegiate wrestling experience? He's got a foundation that he can build upon. I would need that to be part of the story. I would need it to be a case where he, we see pictures of him with his collegiate background. We see him training and working, and if he has genuinely got some training and skills that he can bring into the ring, then I would be the same. If he legit, because I don't know how much training is done. I don't know where he is. I don't know how he would look in the ring. But if he's got some training behind him, then obviously I know that he did do some high school wrestling, and I know that he did train for boxing, of course. So yeah, he potentially wouldn't be the worst. Let's put it that way. He wouldn't be the worst. He wouldn't be Snooki. Snooki was in a league of her own. Mary Lou. Hello, Mary Lou. Is it a cow? Is it a goat? The debate rages on. Mary Lou says, Lucha Underground is on the Tubi app for free. Oh, I don't know if we get that in the UK. Do we get Tubi? Hang on. Let me have a look. If anyone from Tubi is watching, please let me know. Tubi or not to be? That is the question. Tubi is an American ad-supported streaming service owned by Fox. Okay, Tubi, UK. Maybe. Tubi is not currently available to users in the EU and the UK. When was that written? Canada, Australia, Mexico, but not here in the UK. Bum, bum, ba-da. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I had a feeling it wasn't. Anything, we don't get anything good. Sucks. Well, thanks. Thanks, Mary Lou, for building my hopes up and then destroying them. You're not supposed to like Logan Paul. He's not a good person. He's done some really bad stuff. Oh, I don't know bad stuff that he's done. Oh, I do know the thing in the forest. I feel like, didn't the world forgive him for that by now? So, I don't know. I'm not going to hold that against him for the rest of his life. He is just not in my world, to be honest. I don't know. I don't listen to his podcast. I know he does a podcast. I'm sure he still does videos. I don't believe he boxes anymore. Oh, no, he does. He's got a fight with Mayweather coming up, hasn't he? Yeah, he's just not really in my world. So I wouldn't mind. He would be the heel. He would definitely be the heel. I wouldn't be bringing Logan Paul in as a face. I'd be bringing him in as a heel. But, yeah, look, he's got a bit of training. He's got a bit of background. He's a decent name. I'm just saying there's worse. I'm not saying I like him or I would be supporting him. But he's a big name. He'd bring some fresh eyes to the product. He's got some training in wrestling and striking. It's not the worst. I could sit here and list 50 that would be worse. Jennifer Palmer, shout out to you. Says, Miocic has weighed in at 234 and Ngannou has come in at 263. 29-pound difference. This is definitely going to be about Miocic's speed versus Ngannou's pace. There's a lot of excitement for tomorrow. You can taste it. It's in the air, isn't it? I hope that's excitement anyway. Either that or there's like some kind of awful fire in the nearby area. So, yeah, Miocic's speed versus Ngannou's power. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be so good. I'm leaning to Miocic. I think that Ngannou has improved. And he could be too big, too strong, and he could just put Miocic away. But I think Miocic is so technical. He's so good. He's kind of a bit like he's got good head movement, good footwork as well. He's a little bit like, it's a really bad comparison, but a bit like Canelo in the, I just think he's got incredible striking, good boxing skills. In fact, I think he's called out Joshua and Fury to find out who really is the baddest man on the planet. And he said that he'd do it at boxing. He would fight them at boxing and not at MMA because that wouldn't be fair. So boxing-wise, he's very good striker, very good boxing skills, good head movement, good footwork. As you said, he's got good speed, very evasive. So you've got Miocic, who isn't the biggest heavyweight, but when he connects, he connects. He's still got, if he dies, he dies. He's still going to be able to put people away, with his shots. Super dangerous. Super dangerous, Stipe is. And the other thing, great wrestling. So he could grab Ngannou and drag and take Ngannou down. Ngannou's got really good takedown defense, though. It's hard to get Ngannou down. The other X factor as well is the fact they faced each other before, and of course Stipe won. So, do you know what I mean? There's so much going into tomorrow. I'm so excited for tomorrow. It feels huge. Feels like one of the biggest fights of the year. Definitely. Because it's for the heavyweight championship as well. Even if you don't know anything or you don't care about UFC, and there'll be people watching right now that are like, why are we talking about this? I don't care about this. I'm here for WWE. I get it. We're going back to WWE in a second. I understand. But tomorrow is the heavyweight championship, the UFC World Heavyweight Championship. You don't need to know anything about UFC to know that that's a big deal. And that'll sell tomorrow's pay-per-view on its own. Just the fact it's the heavyweight championship. That, I've said before, that has a real connection, doesn't it? I think people think about the World Heavyweight Boxing Championship in particular, or in wrestling, the World Heavyweight Championship. So just because it's not the lightweight title or the flyweight title or the bantamweight title or, it's the heavyweight title, it's the big one, it's the biggest division. There's no, if you've got that belt, you are pretty much the baddest person in all of UFC, because you should technically, for your size, be able to put away all the other divisional champions. I think that's what it comes down to. If you are the heavyweight champion, you should be able to beat everyone else in all the other divisions because of your size and your power. So, it's a big one tomorrow. Jennifer Palmer, shout out to you. The excitement is real. Harry Richards Music, shout out to you, buddy. Gaming in Real Time says, the confusion is going to linger. Math is a game. So we've got gaming in real time. We got math in real time. Hopefully you guys can get together and get into a relationship. That'd be nice. Gaming in real time, math in real time, causing carnage in our chat. Luke's Wrestling World says, is your new girlfriend Paige, as she called you, a cutie? Yeah. I don't know if you saw that. This was mental. This was insane. And I can't believe it's taken us 42 minutes to talk about it. But apparently, was it yesterday on Paige's Twitch channel? She was watching some YouTube videos and reacting to them. One of them was one of my reaction videos. And I can't remember. I don't know what the video was of. Was it when she was made GM or something? I think it was. I think it's the night. So she has to leave wrestling on the Monday, and then on the Tuesday, because obviously SmackDown used to be on a Tuesday. The next night, Shane McMahon announces that Paige is the new SmackDown GM, and so out she comes. And I think it was my reaction to that. I got sent the clip. I can't watch the clip, right? I watched the start, and I just find it too awkward. It's too awkward because, obviously when I'm watching wrestling and I'm talking and I'm reacting, I'm not thinking about anything other than what's happening. So to watch someone watching that is, because I don't know what I say. I have no idea what I say. I have no idea what I look like, what I like. Do you know what I mean? If you're doing a YouTube video, you script it out and you prepare it and all this kind of stuff. Welcome, today we're going to talk about rice, or whatever it might be. But when you're doing a reaction video, you're just lost in the moment. So you're not thinking about, how do I look? What's the background like? What have I gonna say? Literally, you're just lost in the moment. And that's what makes great reaction videos. I think that's why people have always enjoyed my reaction videos because I literally just watch it and react, and I don't worry about the presentation. I don't worry about what I say. I don't worry about anything other than the video. So I have got no idea what's in that video is the bottom line. I have no idea. So the fact that she sat down and watched it makes me nervous, but I have been told that she says at some point that I'm a cutie or I'm cute or something like this. And that is, I would say, the biggest achievement of my life. I would say that is not only going onto my CV, but I'll probably put it on my tombstone as well. Just that quote from Paige. So if someone could send me the exact quote, like, isn't he a cutie? Or something like that, yeah? I'll probably put that on my tombstone. Isn't he a cutie? Paige. That'll do. Days. And then the dates that I was born. And obviously, when I do pass away, I'll be 21. So we could probably already sort the dates out. But yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. I got sent that by a couple of people on Twitter. I obviously didn't see it. But I just can't bring myself to... I watched the start. And I got a few minutes in, and I was like, "No, that's it. I can't watch any more of this." So no, she isn't my new girlfriend. But nothing but respect for Paige. I've always had great respect for Paige. She was obviously the first NXT Women's Champion. I think she brought something very different to the Divas era. I think AJ Lee did as well, and I have nothing but respect for AJ Lee. So they obviously hit it off, and they were great friends. And you can see they were kind of the outsiders in a world of Summer Rays and Alicia Foxes and, do you know what I mean? Bellas. Your AJ Lees and your Paiges were very much on the other end of the spectrum. But, really, really cool. That's cool. It's cool. Vape Ross Vape says, I need that clip now. Says Vape Ross Vape. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have it. I don't have the... Well, I think someone tweeted it. If you go onto Twitter and go to the profile, I think I did tweet out, like, shocked faces, and I think someone attached the clip to that post, so it is out there. Someone also sent me a message saying it was so funny because no one in her chat at the time knew who you were. And I was like, why would they? Why would they know who I was? I would be more surprised if there was someone in the chat that did know who I was. So, yeah, that was kind of funny as well. The fact that someone was like, no one knew who you was. Yeah, because I'm just some random guy that streams wrestling on Twitter. Why would they? So, hopefully I came across well. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully I came across well. It certainly, I must admit, it does make me think. Do you know what I mean? It does make me think. Because when you watch wrestling and like you criticize stuff, because we're very critical. We give praise, but we criticize as well. We just react. You're criticizing the show. Do you know what I mean? You're criticizing the show. You're not criticizing the people. But there are real people behind it all. And it does make me think, like, you know, does, like, do the wrestlers sit down and watch clips as well? I would imagine they do. If I was a wrestler, I would want to know what people were saying. I've got to say, if I was a wrestler, I would watch streams like this. And I'm not just saying that to make these streams seem, like, important or whatever. But I think these streams are important because you can actually see how people are reacting to every single part of your segment, not just the end result that you get on Twitter. So not just the final, I hated that segment, I thought it went too long, yeah? You can actually see what was working during the segment, what didn't work during a segment, because they would see all of your reactions. So it could be that a segment was great at the start, but then did go on too long, and you'd be able to see the exact point where people are starting to go, oh, this is dragging now. So if you as a wrestler, you'd be able to watch things like this and see your reactions and what everyone in the chat is saying. and see that, wow, if we chopped it here rather than went to there, that would work in the future. I actually think there's a lot of value in like for a wrestler to watch alongs, not just this one, any that are out there, any that can give them that kind of feedback. So it does make me wonder if the things we say, should I don't know, I'm just always honest. I don't want to change what I'm saying in case I hurt someone's feelings. Do you know what I mean? I've got to be honest with what I see. So if there are any wrestlers watching and I hurt your feelings, I am sorry. I don't mean it. I don't mean to do that. I just mean to be honest. Markashia says Sasha may think she is better than Bianca because of her signature moves and her wrestling skills. But girl, because she ain't better than the EST of WWE, period. I love it. That's great. It's always nice to get a girl. Laurie says they should watch them and read the comments. Definitely. Well, that's a big reason why I don't actually need the comments on the screen to see them. I very rarely look at the comments that are on screen. I've got a separate text box that YouTube gives me that I look at, and that's actually what I'm looking at right now. But I put them on screen so that there's counterbalances to what I'm saying. So, if you're a Fiend fan and you watch me and I'm like, oh, I hate this, I don't get this, right? You can see how everyone else in the chat is reacting, because I promise you there'll be people in the chat going, this is the best thing ever, and that'll be on screen at the same time. Like, the chat, it could be that I'm going, oh, I don't like this, but everyone in the chat is like, this is the best thing ever. But it's there for that reason. So there's this multitude of voices. All of your voices are on screen, get shown, and people can see them. So yes, if wrestlers were watching, they would be seeing exactly what you were saying. And I've said it before, and I genuinely mean it, but it's always worth repeating. If I wasn't talking and I was, say, watching a stream like this and I was in the chat, there would be people that I would see them on a regular basis in the community who would be saying stuff that made sense to me, and I would look out for their comments. So, and I hope people do that anyway. But like, for example, Austin, yeah? So Austin316 joins us all the time. If Austin makes like really good points on a regular basis, I would start to see that. And so not only would I be coming here to see what's Days think of this, whatever, but I'd be like, yeah, what did Austin think of that as well? Or, what did William think of that? Or, do you know what I mean? We've got such a vibrant community that I do think that happens. I do think that happens whereby people ask others for their opinion, or at the very least keep an eye out for what others thought. So you get quite a bit of reaction from these watch-alongs, which is it's what it's all about, man. That's why the comments are on screen. So love it, yeah, brilliant. It's definitely a positive tool, I would think, for wrestlers. The only problem is they change the length of a promo? Can they change the content of a promo? Can they change what they're being asked to do, how they're being presented? They might know that some of this stuff is wrong. They might see like the reaction and know that it's not connecting in the way they want it to, but they might not be able to do anything about it. That's the problem. Do you know what I mean? How many superstars are doing things they just don't want to do? Do you think that Dominik Dijakovic wants to be in Retribution? Because I don't. Do you think Mia Yim wants to be in Retribution? Because I don't. But they've just got to make it work, haven't they? Or do the best they can. What is the worst defining moments figure? That's a great question and a difficult one, because off the top of my head, I can't even remember all of them. I've got to say, there's... let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. Defining moments, WWE. I love the Hogan one. That's one of my all-time favorites. Defining moments was very much like Ultimate Editions are now. I think they are amongst the best figures. So trying to establish what the worst one was is going to be impossible, because even the worst one is still going to be a great figure. I'm just looking now. They made loads of great ones. Loads. We've got Shawn from WrestleMania 25. We've got Stone Cold with 3 belts. Thugonomics Cena with 2 belts. Rock and Sock Rock is a good one. I mean, I could cheat and say some of the Ultimate Warrior ones that they made just for him. They're legit, real. Made them by Mattel, but they were just for Ultimate Warrior. Part of the agreement was that he got some of his own defining moments. Limited to about 5. And you could say that they're amongst the worst. I mean, like Macho Man from WrestleMania 3. Bret Hart. Triple H. Double Denim Triple H. I don't know, man. It's a great question. I don't know if I've got an answer for you. I might have to say Bret Hart, just because I've never liked the hair on Bret Hart. That's my big criticism of the Ultimate Edition for Bret Hart as well. The Ultimate Edition of Bret Hart, the hair, it just looks so... I don't know if I've got it to hand. I do. Oh, it's just an empty box. I thought I did so well. But it's just an empty box. I don't know if you can see the back of the box. But, like, the way his hair looks, it looks too thick. And it just doesn't look like hair. I don't know. I can't quite tell what's over his face. But, like, the hair has always been a problem for me on Bret Hart figures. I have no idea why it's a problem. If you compare it to, like, how he looks there, look at what's over his eyes. He does have a bit of hair over his eyes, but it's next to nothing. Do you know what I mean? There's Bret Hart. And now look at how they've put that in figure form. Look at the hair. What the hell is that? The rest of the figure is great. The pink attire, the jacket, everything. There's Bret Hart. A little bit of hair over the face. You can clearly see the eyes, see the face. Do you know what I mean? It's really, there's not much there. And that's how they've done it in figure form. What the flip? What the flip? So his hair has always been an issue for me. So I'll go with that. That was an Ultimate Edition, but the defining moments look very similar. I like all of the Jeff Hardy figures, says Leo. Edward says, hello, bud. Can I get a shout out? Shout out to you, Edward Brown. There's weekend wrestling at next year's WrestleMania. Mark my words. Do you think so? I don't know. I kind of think that if they were going to do it, well, I don't know. It's at Texas, so you would think that there would be some kind of a Texas celebrity next year. I think it's Texas next year, isn't it? 37, and then I think 38. No, hang on, 38 next year. I think it's 39 in Hollywood. I think it is. So, although saying that, Bad Bunny is Latin America. We're in Florida. I suppose you got the Miami thing. Maybe. Hasib said, Days, do you think tonight's main event could be Edge versus Daniel with the winner facing Roman? That might feel a bit big. That might feel a little bit big for a main event of a SmackDown to do Edge versus Daniel Bryan. I think a lot of people would expect that to be at WrestleMania Night 1 if you were going to do it, rather than tonight. But never say never. Never say never. You never know. AJH says, I saw you at Wrestling Shop in 2017. That's very cool. Shout out to you, bud. Was that the first year we did it? I think it was. So you was at the very first one. Can I remember the very first one? I can remember the first one. First one. That was so special. Yeah, that was great. We've done it 3 times. And every year it's got bigger. Like, the shop hasn't got bigger. The shop's always been in the same location. But every year there's been more and more people that have come along. And honestly, some of my favorite memories are from those weekends. Getting chance. I mean, it's just honestly, if I tell you it's non-stop for the weekend, you'd think I was lying. But the last one that we did was non-stop. Like from the moment the doors opened to the moment the doors closed, just those pop-up events were so popular, so popular. And great, so much fun. Yeah, I got a chance to meet quite a few of you. I remember meeting Miss Clown One as well. Quite well, loads of people I met. But that's very cool. I also think I saw you once. Says Leo123. Yeah, you think you saw me, but you're not sure. I'm like a shadow in the night. LSW says, Days, who else's comments do you try to find? Because me and James Chadwick just agreed that our opinions are trash. I actually don't try to find comments in the chat. I'd be lying if I said I did. Mainly because I just tried to get... Oh, hello. I just tried to get a general feel from the chat. You never know who's around at any one time, to be honest. So, do you know what I mean? Like, there's people that are with us like all the time, but then there's people that obviously, have to go to bed because they're in the UK, so they might not be around for the shows, but they might be around at the pay-per-view shows. So you never kind of know who's around at any one moment. So I just tried to get a feel from the chat, whoever's here at that time. I can't say that I specifically look out for anyone in particular. I just try to get general responses, whatever's happening at that time. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was people out there that did that. I would do that if I wasn't talking all the time. If I was sat watching and reading the chat, I would be looking out for people that I agreed with, or people, even if I didn't agree with them, maybe if they made really good points that I was like, yeah, I see what they're saying there. Like earlier with the Raw and SmackDown both having a main event each for WrestleMania. Like that was a great point. That was a really great point. So that's the kind of thing that I would be looking out for. Right, SmackDown has begun. Right, let's go down into the chat. On Twitter, send out a little tweet to tell people we're live. It's just a video package of Fastlane at the moment. Obviously, we're coming off the back of a little bit of confusion. There's a few people saying that Edge turned heel. I never took it that way. I think it'd be weird to turn Edge heel. But obviously, Daniel is going to claim that Roman tapped. He's going to claim that Edge got involved. He's going to talk about how Jay got involved. So, yeah, there's going to be quite a bit for us to explore. I would imagine that will start the show. Daniel Bryan does indeed start the show. The leader of the Yes Movement, Daniel Bryan, making his way out. Going Ghost, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well. Daniel Bryan is in wrestling attire. Daniel Bryan is in wrestling attire. He's brought a chair down to the ring as well. He's going to occupy Raw again. He's going to occupy SmackDown. He's going to set the chair up. There's no one that he can invite into the ring, though. Do you remember when he got all the people out the crowd? What's he going to do? Put Thunderdome screens in there with him. I'm not going anywhere until you add me to the main event of WrestleMania. Are you on your own? Yes. Richard K, shout out to you. Over or under 40% that we get CM Punk back in WWE within the next 5 years. Over. 5 years is a long time. And surely WWE are not going to want him to go to AEW. Sonny Wolf, shout out to you, my friend. Going Ghost says, in my opinion, Edge isn't heel or face. He is a tweener. Everyone saw Roman tap out, says Daniel Bryan. I didn't. I saw a slight hand spasm. Roman has never tapped. And last week he said he would rather die than tap out. Daniel Bryan said, good news, Roman is alive, but Roman tapped out to Daniel Bryan. I don't think it was a hand spasm, Daniel. It was uncontrollable. So Daniel said he should be Universal Champion. Daniel says neither of those things are true. I had exactly the same issue. I saw Bree tap to Daniel. Was you looking through their window? How did you see that? Should Adam Cole go to Raw or SmackDown? Well, I'd be a lot more comfortable if he went to SmackDown. Let's put it that way. I saw a half-out Roman tap lightly because he was half out. I saw Roman's hand shake because he was being put to sleep, but I didn't see him tap. And because if you tap, you want the move to stop. If you tap out, that is your way of saying, make this stop. I don't want this pain anymore, or I'm about to be put to sleep, so I submit. I didn't see that kind of vigor. The way they did it, they made it questionable. I like that. Clever WWE. Daniel says, give me a spot in the main event of WrestleMania. I want a rematch against Roman. He wants a rematch with Roman. He wants it tonight. Big, loud yes chants. Loud. That they're piping in, of course. I not leaving the ring. Yay! Occupy SmackDown! He's gonna occupy SmackDown! Oh, we should have fans. We should have fans. If we had fans, he could have brought them into the ring like he did last time. It doesn't work as well. So Daniel sat on a chair. He's like, I want a rematch with Roman for the Universal Championship. I want to be in the main event of WrestleMania. I made Roman tap out. And I'm not leaving the ring until I get what I want. And the show goes to commercial break. Richard K said, Days, if you was in an 8-man tag and you could have any partners from WWE, past or present, who would you choose? Partners. Well, first of all, Brock, because pretty sure I'm not going to need to do anything if Brock's in the ring. If something happens to Brock, if they somehow deal with Brock, then I'm going to need another big guy as a replacement. So let's go Andre the Giant. So we'll go Brock, we'll go Andre, and then if somehow that doesn't work, I need Stone Cold. I need Stone Cold. So we'll go Brock, Andre, Stone Cold. And I'll have Bruno Sammartino as the manager because he can jump in if needed as well. Joaquin said, Days Daniel Bryan is looking like when I watch Raw. Yeah, he was looking a bit unimpressed, wasn't he? As we went to commercial break. WWE is using a commercial right, says Nico Guy. Yeah, that's true, actually. We've gone to commercial quite early, but it's a lovely time to go to commercial. Because it's like, Daniel's come out, he's made his point, he's said what he wants to say, he's not leaving the ring. So it's a great time to go to commercial. Stone Cold, nice choice. Commercial break used the right way, says LD Cool. Imagine Roman, Rock, Jay, Jimmy versus Daniel, Kane, Edge, and Christian. That'd be nice. Picasso is a legend, says Miss Clown One. Absolutely. Absolutely. Winston Churchill is a legend. Daniel Bryan wants a rematch with Roman. Yeah, I can't say I'm too surprised that he said that. So let's see when we get back. Adam Pearce. Will Adam Pearce be in the ring? Bryce says, I like Daniel Bryan and Roman and Edge. I've liked all three of them. They are good. How do I watch SmackDown? Well, if you're in America, it's on Fox. If you're in the UK, it's on BT Sport. Harley said, Days, who do you think will make a surprise appearance at Mania, creating a Mania moment? I think Becky, Ronda, or possibly The Rock. Yeah, I think Becky or Rock. I'm not sure we get Ronda. Not sure that we get Ronda. Be great if we did, but I don't think we will. I think it's going to be... I don't know that we get Rock either, but it'd be great if we did. I think Becky might be favourite. Roman has beaten Daniel 7 times, says Laurie. Right, well, Daniel, we are back. Daniel is sat in the ring. No one has come down. I thought there would be like officials pleading with Daniel. He's still in the ring on his own. He's put a chair in the middle of the ring and he said he's not going to go anywhere. Roman did not tap. His hand was shaking. Austin says, I hope Roman just beats Bryan on SmackDown so he doesn't get added. Do you think Randy Orton can beat Ric Flair's record? He can beat it. I don't know that he will beat it, but he could beat it. What's your thoughts on Aleister Black not fighting much? I think that's probably down to Aleister not wanting to. There was rumours that they had something new for him creatively. I don't know if those rumours were true. But I think after what happened with Zelina Vega, it wouldn't surprise me if Aleister Black's just refusing. He could be suspended. It could be pretty moody. It's definitely a problem. And this is definitely a problem as well. Because right now we are just watching Daniel Bryan sat in a ring. Are we going to have this for 2 hours? It would still be better than Raw. Although, maybe not this week's Raw. This week's Raw was okay. This is weird. How long are they going to make this go on for? He's not even saying anything. Do you think Fox are panicked? Here's Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce has walked out. He says, I can't give you what you want. Daniel says, I can get the truck to show a replay if you want me to show a replay of Roman tapping. Ref's decision is final. Adam Pearce has said, ref's decision is final. I got a solution. How about Edge versus Roman? And I immediately face the winner. Adam Pearce says, you know that would be unfair. It's fine for me. This is good. So Daniel says, all right, so it's fine for me to fight inside the Elimination Chamber and then face Roman. How about this? 2 nights, yes. Oh. Night 2. The winner faces me. That's interesting. Edge Roman night 1. Edge Roman night 1. Winner faces Daniel night 2. Big yes chant to that. So it wouldn't be the triple threat. Oh, now Edge is coming. He's going to ruin it, isn't he? I'm down. I like that. I'm down for that. Edge Roman night 1. Winner faces oh, he knocks the microphone out of the hand. Yeah. Edge has got an edge. Edge has got an edge. He's very frustrated. Edge has got an edge. No. Yes. I think it's better than the triple threat. Edge. Edge says, I've watched you. Edge says, every match in here could be my last match. You're saying this could be your last WrestleMania, but every match could be my last match. This is my dream. This is everything I've worked for. This is a great promo from Edge. This Edge promo is fire. He's making great points. Oh, Daniel just takes Edge down. He just takes down Edge. Edge cutting a great promo. Daniel just takes him down. They're all making great points. I think they should all be allowed to do PowerPoint presentations. Get all their points into a PowerPoint presentation and we'll listen to them all. We'll go to a conference room and we'll all just listen to them all talk about how they've been treated wrong. Wow, it's just a mess. I don't mind. I don't mind the Roman Edge match on night 1. Winner goes to night 2. I don't mind that. To face Daniel. Because who would leave as champion? Because if you do a triple threat, Daniel takes the pin. If you do a triple threat, I'm sure Daniel takes the pin. If you do it as 2 separate matches, all of a sudden, I don't know. Richard K says, Fatal 4-Way Edge versus Bryan versus Roman versus Uso. No, I don't want the triple threat, so I wouldn't want the Fatal 4-Way. No Roman yet. Huskus the Big Boy says, heel Edge. I don't think this is heel Edge. I agree, it's tweener. This is Edge out for himself. This is Edge saying that you're trying to take my dream away from me. I won the Royal Rumble. I outlasted everyone, including you. I've seen you having to come out here and pretend to be a knight in shining armor. Like, he's making really good points. He's not doing or saying anything. And it was Daniel that attacked Edge. Edge was talking and Daniel attacked him. I agree. This is tweener. This is tweener Edge. There's an edge to Edge. Peed off Edge is great, says James Chadwick. James says he does not need to be a heel. Otherwise, it'd be heel versus heel. Brony says, WTF, is Edge a heel? He's supposed to be someone who couldn't compete for 10 years. Sandra, shout out to you. Appreciate the kind words. Capricorn 893 says Edge versus Bryan on night 1. Then the winner of that match versus Reigns on night 2. Yeah, they could switch it that way. The only problem with that, only issue I've got with that is surely Edge wins. Surely Edge wins. I can't see Edge not winning that. So it just feels like we still end up with the match we were always going to get anyway, but we've just gone through this whole irrelevant twist and turn. So that would be my only downside. That's why Roman versus Edge, winner goes on to face Daniel, is very interesting to me, because I didn't think of doing that way. A lot of people were saying triple threat. So I don't want triple threat. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Days, do you think The Fiend will use some Factor 50 and go back to normal Fiend by Mania? He looked like he couldn't properly turn on Raw. Yeah, there's a chance that he heals. I mean, he's got a heel glove. You know what I mean? You would think he's been able to bring back Rambling Rabbit and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's just not practical for him to stay that way. So, yeah, I do think there's a chance that we see The Fiend change and this isn't his form he's going to be in forever. Heather says, yes, please. I like that idea even better. Edge isn't going to be happy, though. He wasn't happy. Update, he wasn't happy. Salary says, night 1, Bryan versus Jay. If Bryan wins, then it becomes a triple threat on night 2. What's your thoughts on that? Not a big fan, to be honest. Not a big fan, because I think Bryan would win. I think he would get added, and then we end up with a triple threat where I really would expect Bryan to take the pin. I don't think the triple threat isn't something I'm after. So anything that involves the triple threat is, I think it is going to go that way. It still feels like the triple threat is the most likely way forward. It's not what I'm looking for, though, to be honest. But if they did it, we'll see. We haven't got anywhere. I've got no answers for you. We still haven't got anywhere. Hopefully we get an answer by the end of tonight. I do like it, though. There's so many options on the table. It's like, which one are they going to go for? Going Ghost says, this Edge is passionate. This Edge is ruthless. This Edge is unstoppable. This Edge will beat Roman. This Edge will be champion. What do you think? I think there's a good chance that Edge does win it. I think Edge winning has got to be the likely outcome of WrestleMania. I think Daniel leaving as champion is very unlikely. Days, if we get Edge versus Bryan night 1 and then wins and we get Edge versus Roman night 2, that would be great, because that's 2 Edge dream matches in 2 nights. But I don't mind a triple threat anyway. Well, that's true. I mean, Edge versus Daniel would still be a great match. And Edge versus Roman would still be a great match. I still think it'll go that way. Or it could be the triple threat. Okay, look, we'll find out. We're backstage with Roman. No one is forcing you out. Right, we've got Seth making his way down. Right, Seth Rollins making his way down. Uso is watching. Yeah, they were all watching backstage. I'd like to think they're watching us. That's what I'd like to think. I'd like to think that actually, if you looked at the screen, it's us on screen chatting away. Right, here comes Seth. I like Seth's attire. So Seth's got a red leather jacket with black kind of furry collar. He's got, I like his ring attire. It's black attire. But it looks kind of intriguing. It's got a different design on it. This is Mania 30 all over. The world champ is heel. The part-timer wins the Rumble as face and then turns heel. William Hentz said, I would like Seth to get back to being a serious wrestler instead of this Jesus prophet stuff, says William Hentz. I agree with that. Jordan Roswell, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are enjoying SmackDown. And unbelievably, we've had 25 minutes so far. Nearly a quarter of the way through the show. Unbelievable. Salary says, I think at Fastlane, Bo Dallas was playing The Fiend, and at Mania, Bray and The Fiend will be in the ring at the same time to make a Mania moment. I know that's Raw and not SmackDown, but yeah. Okay, Seth in the ring. Who's he facing? I have no idea who he's facing. Jordan Roswell says, big shout out to Jordan Roswell. Days, you legend. God bless you all. That's nice. Shout out to you, Jordan. Okay, it's Shinsuke that's making his way. Banger incoming. Yeah, should be a good little match, this. Another night off for Cesaro. I think there's a chance we'll see Cesaro. I would imagine Seth will win against Shinsuke, start beating him up, and Cesaro comes out, something like that. Nakamura rematch, says Epic Little King James. Okay, so Shinsuke made his way down. Both are wearing black and red attire. So Seth's attire is black. It's got like 3 stripes on the one leg. The other side has got it's a cool silhouette of Seth's head and shoulders. It looks good. I really like his attire. That looks cool, doesn't it? That little Seth on his ring attire. I don't believe we've seen that before. Joaquin Uribe says, Days, who would you have Don Callis manage in WWE? Shinsuke. Probably Shinsuke. And I'm not just saying that because he's on screen right now. My first thought was Cesaro, but because I think it should be someone legit that hasn't had an opportunity. And Cesaro and Shinsuke are the two that come to mind. Cesaro, though, I think should get there as a face, whereas I think Shinsuke works quite well as a heel. I think he works well as a face also. But, yeah, I kind of think Shinsuke needs a mouthpiece more than Cesaro. So I'd put him with Shinsuke. I think Don Callis, and what with the New Japan connection as well, I think that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Don Callis could say, Shinsuke, this isn't the Shinsuke I remember in New Japan. You've lost your way. And have Don Callis do the talking for him. That would be gold. That would be gold. This is a worthy rematch, unlike Braun versus Elias, says Crypto66. Chris Brown said, I saw a few Shinsuke fights in Pride. He was pretty decent. He'd probably beat Rollins up. Oh, yeah, definitely. I would have Don Callis bring back the Truth Commission, says Brad G. Austin said, I kind of wish they did Seth versus Daniel at WrestleMania, since those two have never competed one-on-one on a pay-per-view. Have they not? Have they not? That would be a great fight. That would be a great fight. Nathan says, Days, I'm not joking. If you check Instagram, they are so setting up Logan versus Sammy for Mania. Oh, I don't need it. I know I said that there would be worse celebrities to step in there and that he's got a fight. It still doesn't mean I want it. Robert says, hello, Days. I want to give you and everyone a shout out. I hope everyone is doing well. Shout out to you, Robert Leggins. Mike Ziegler says, Days, are you going to watch SNW Victory Lane this weekend? No. What's that? SNW. What's SNW? I'm going through loads of different wrestling promotions in my mind. See, Victory Lane sounds like Victory Road, which makes me think of Impact. SNW. What the flip is SNW? South North Wrestling. You go south, but then you've got to come back to where you started. So, South North Wrestling. What is your favourite boy and girl wrestler? Favourite boy wrestler is Roman. Favourite girl wrestler is Asuka. Shout out to you, Drake. Wrestle with Andy. Hello, my friend. I hope you are well. Days, who else would you like to see get announced for this year's Hall of Fame? Who would you like to see get announced for this year's Hall of Fame? It's a bumper class, isn't it? Way bigger than I was expecting. So we've had Molly Holly, Eric Bischoff, Great Khali, Kane, rumors that next week will be Rob Van Dam. Don't know if that will come through. Yeah, I mean, we all wanted Christian to go in, didn't we? And that's not happening now. Now that he's gone to AEW, so you can forget Christian. I mean, I would love to see AJ Lee go in, but it's too soon, and they're not going to do that. But I do feel that her wrestling career is over. But I think there's still bad feelings. So I don't know. I would love for them to do it. I think she absolutely deserves it. If you're putting in Molly Holly, then I would put in Bull Nakano. I know she didn't do a great deal with WWE. She did a little bit with WCW, but I think you can get away with putting her in because of just her contribution to women's wrestling in general. She goes in for not only what she did in WWE or WCW, but what she did in All Japan Women's and, you know, over in Japan in the 90s, late 80s and 90s. I mean, you talk about one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time. So I kind of feel that she deserves to go in, but maybe not for what she did in WWE. Although she is a former WWE Women's Champion. She did win the championship. So I'd love to see her go in. AJ Lee. Male-wise, difficult. What guys would I put in? Let's have a look. Let's see what people are saying. Undertaker. Yeah, I wouldn't put him in this year, though. Sabu. Saturday Night Wrestling. What the hell is Saturday Night Wrestling? What the hell is Saturday Night Wrestling? What the hell is Saturday Night Wrestling? I've never heard of it. What do they do every other day of the week? Join us for Saturday Night Wrestling's big pay-per-view show this Sunday called, yes, we know it's confusing. Saturday Night Wrestling presents Victory Lane on pay-per-view for $79.99. What the flip is Saturday Night Wrestling? I've never even heard of them. I've never even heard of them. Do they do all of their shows exclusively on a Saturday night? They'd have to. How do they do house shows? Oh, you coming to see that house show on Tuesday? What house show? Saturday Night Wrestling. On Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. They do their shows on a Saturday, but they do it on Tuesday as well. What? They needed to rethink that name. Can you pass that message on to them? That their name is stupid. Falcon Arrow by Seth. Kick out by Nakamura. Nation of Domination. Have we had a group? We haven't had a group for this year's class, have we? Yeah, they deserve to go in, absolutely. Saturday Night Wrestling is wrestling that happens on a Saturday. Duh. Days, have you seen videos of hippos eating watermelons? I can't say I have. No, I can't say I have. Is it the same person saying Nation of Domination? There's a lot. Yeah, it is. Salary is desperate for Nation of Domination to go in. William Regal. Yes, William Regal. That's it. Game over. James Chadwick wins. James Chadwick wins the Hall of Fame game. William Regal goes in. No arguing. I'm not interested in anyone's thoughts. There needs to be zero comment on this. William Regal goes in the Hall of Fame. Why it hasn't happened yet, I've got no idea. His wrestling career's over. He's a GM now. He can go in as a GM. We don't need to wait for him to be 78 until he goes in. Put him in. Ric Flair's in. And they still use him. Edge is in, and he might be in the main event of WrestleMania. William Regal. Game over. Curb stomp by Seth. Put Paul Bearer in when Undertaker goes in. Bearer's in. 1, 2, 3. Seth wins. Miss Cowan 1 says, Sonny, I don't blame you. Hippos need more attentions. How about Vince? Vince has said he doesn't want to go in. Ghostwriter says Ric Flair wears diapers. LSW says Right to Censor should be inducted. Hard to get as excited for that. Nation of Domination, definitely. We are the nation. Just for the theme song. Right, Seth beats Nakamura. Cesaro's coming out. He's coming out in a lovely little suit. Nice gut wrench. Put Mark Henry. Is Mark Henry not in? Boomer! Yeah, he should go in. Lovely uppercut by Cesaro. I like how he's in shoes and trousers and a shirt. Because I don't think he's advertised for the show. So it kind of looks like he wasn't ready. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit of... Come on, that he's screaming at Seth. Come on. Good little detail there. I like that. He was out back. He was watching his friend, Shinsuke. He saw Shinsuke getting attacked, and Cesaro, look at him, man. He is absolutely ripped. Right, we've got Paul Heyman backstage with Roman. Here's Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce, your tribal chief. It's Kamala. End of story. Kamala, yes. Is Kamala not in? Have they even got a Hall of Fame? How can we have a Hall of Fame without Kamala and William Regal in? How dare they put other people in that's not Kamala or William Regal? Kamala has to go in. Has to go in. Roman says, you get me for one night. You only get me for one night. Do you understand? That's the arrangement. I understand. And I agree. They're either gonna do Edge versus Daniel, winner faces Roman, or they're gonna do the triple threat. What I love is the fact that they are explaining now. Oh my god, this show is so good. They're explaining to you why we can't do Edge Roman night one, winner faces Daniel. Yeah? Because Roman's saying, I'm not working 2 nights. My contract is for me to defend at WrestleMania. I'm doing that once. And that makes sense. That is exactly the kind of thing I would say. If I was champion, I'm not defending the belt twice. I don't even want to defend it once. So it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. So I can see this being Edge versus Daniel, winner faces Roman. Yes, they could do the triple threat as well. But it's good. Right, 6-man tag coming up. Bum 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 bum. Big E and the Street Profits, sure to be taking on Apollo and someone. Dirty Dogs. Bum 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 bum. I'm gonna say Apollo and the Dirty Dogs. I don't even know if that's the match, but that's the match I would book. And sometimes that's more important. Sometimes the match you would book is more important than the match you actually get. Right. Heyman should be in the Hall of Fame. Yes. Any news on Jimmy Uso's return? Nothing. No. Miss Clown 1 says, boring profits. Yotta Da Silva says, I hate what they're doing to Seth Rollins. William said, I think Roman should face Bryan and then Edge first night, then Lesnar the second night. That's fair. Bryce said, AJ Lee needs to come back to WWE. Alpha Academy is it Alpha Academy? That would also, in fairness, that would also make sense. Okay, that would also make sense. Alpha Academy. Alpha Academy. Boom. What happened to Horsepower? Too powerful. Too powerful. We proposed it as a name, and we even managed to get a few members for that group, but we could get no challengers. There was Plain Power around for a while, and that was just cringe. That was just cringe. Even the members of Plain Power said that it was cringe and they knew that they'd made a mistake. I had a lot of people getting in touch with me on Twitter after apologizing for Plain Power. I'm just like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm really sorry. Horsepower's the best. Plain Power's cringe. I think LSW sent that through. I think LSW was definitely one I saw that sent that through. Maybe Creed. Can't remember. There was quite a few people that apologized for Plain Power. But yeah, Horsepower. Just couldn't find any credible challengers. So I think it went into the Hall of Fame. I think Horsepower is going into the Hall of Fame. That's the faction that's going in. Who is the youngest Hall of Famer? Who is the youngest Hall of Famer? Who is the youngest Hall of Famer? I'm trying to think. Is there anyone really young? I can't think of anyone. I can't think of anyone that's like really young. I'm trying to think. Is there someone that like passed away? I mean, you've got China in there. Don't know how old she was when she passed away. You'd have to think that they would have passed away. They'd be in the Hall of Fame and they would have passed away. How old was Andre? Andre wouldn't have been all that old. He would have been in, what, his 40s? Let's have a look. Andre the Giant. Andre was 46 when he passed away. So Andre was 46. China was 46 as well. Oh my God, is there anyone in the Hall of Fame that's younger than 46? Let's have a look. Hall of Fame. It's a good question. It's a fun little question. Hall of Fame. 46 is the youngest I've got to. Bobo Brazil, Buddy Rogers, ain't gonna be any of them. Antina Rocca, Putski, Pedro Morales. No, none of these are young. Bobby the Brain, no. Sergeant Slaughter, no. None of them are young. Sensational Sherry was 49. Eddie Guerrero, 38. Eddie Guerrero was 38. So Guerrero at the moment. We got Seth ranting and raving backstage. I'm going to make it right. He's challenging. WrestleMania. Yokozuna was 34. Yokozuna was 34. So the challenge has been made. See, Connor the Crusher, I don't know. Is he in the Hall of Fame? He got the Warrior Award. Does that count? I'm not sure. We've got a Cesaro swing backstage. Cesaro is swinging Seth backstage. Connor. I don't know if Connor counts. Connor got the Warrior Award. Eddie Guerrero, 38. Yokozuna, 34. Yokozuna's the youngest I got to. Corey said, what really happened is Plain Power buried them. Oh, Corey, that's not what I remember. That's not how I recall it. The Bellas are 37. Yokozuna still wins at 34 then. Yokozuna still wins at 34. Beth Phoenix went in at 34. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. It doesn't count the age they go in at. Surely it's their age. Who is the youngest Hall of Famer? Because the thing is, it doesn't really matter when you go in. And like we all know, Undertaker's going in. Here's Apollo with that weird spear. He hasn't got his militia anymore, has he? Where's the military guys gone? Apollo is boring. LSW says, I'm sorry for Plain Power. It was cringe. And I promise not to mention it again. That's fine. That's fine, LSW. Another great match at Mania. That will be a great match. Seth and Cesaro will be great. It looks like we're going to get Big E and Apollo at WrestleMania as well. James Horrocks says, what if we do Edge Daniel Roman as a ladder match? That would be good. Jimmy says, Plain Power crashed and burned. That's true. Mike Ziegler said, Horsepower beat the Job Squads. I think Horsepower beat everyone. That spear is not needed, says Brony. What have I missed so far? You've missed a decent show. I would say that it's kind of... I don't need this match. This is the moment for me where we're kind of... I don't need this. This to me is filler. But it's been good so far. Who do you think should return at WrestleMania? I'd like to see Becky. I'd like to see Brock. So either of those. Jamie says, we bring the swag like nobody can. We bring the swag like nobody can. We bring the swag like... Is that their lyrics? I find them a bit boring. I think they're a decent team, but they're just a bit cringe. I used to like Apollo, but now I don't, says Darnell. Mania is stacked, says Dom15. I agree, bud. Mania looks awesome. Looks like one of the best cards I've ever seen. Straight up. I think all of the main events look great. I think even the undercard looks good. In fact, the only match that I don't really care for is the Bad Bunny one. And I understand why it's there. Because, like, of how great it's done with the merch sales. So, other than Bad Bunny, every other match looks great. James Chadwick said, I hope WWE makes Seth versus Cesaro a 60-minute Iron Man match. Do you know, I was listening to Grilling with JR, and he was talking about how Vince didn't want the Iron Man match because Vince is more into entertainment than he's into wrestling. And he doesn't mind wrestling, kind of. Do you know what I mean? It'd be a problem if he did. He doesn't mind wrestling, but he just didn't think that Brett and Sean were going to be able to make an hour's worth of wrestling entertaining. But they convinced him that they could, and obviously it turned out to be a very good match. Seth versus Cesaro would be great as an Iron Man match. I don't know that they would do that at WrestleMania, though. But they could certainly do a rematch on Raw or SmackDown. They're on SmackDown, aren't they? They could obviously do it on SmackDown, or they could do it at like a B pay-per-view. Eric, Defcon Prime Dirishi says, Days! Hope you're doing well. I'm chilling with my new dog, Charlie. She's the best. I named her after Charlotte Flair. Are you going to WrestleMania 37? Unfortunately not. I would love to, actually. It's in Tampa, and I love Florida and I know Tampa really well now, and Orlando. So I would love to have gone around, but and like gone to Tampa, but yeah, sadly not. I mean, it's a problem. To be honest, what I would love to have done would have been to have gone to America, done some toy hunts, gone around Access, but there isn't one this year. I would, if I'm going to WrestleMania, I'm going to Access. So I would love to do all of that. And then, this might surprise you, not go to WrestleMania, because I'd want to stream it. I'd want to, if I was going to go, if the option was, do you want to go to WrestleMania and watch it live, or do you want to stream it with you guys? I would stream it. So, but I could go to Access in the daytime, one of the days, and do some toy hunts and all of that. So, I want to do that. Apollo pins Big E, and he's very happy about it. He's very happy about it. Who would win in a fight, a plane or a horse? A horse? Planes just stand there. Planes just stand there. They either stand there or they run away. On a runaway. They run away, don't they, to the sky. Scared. Planes are scared. So horse wins. Horse would be like chewing at the wheels and stuff. Be a massacre. I look down for 3 seconds and Apollo pins Big E. This is an outrage, says Let's Go. Gaming in Real Time said, Days, if travel is an option, then I'm going to go to WrestleMania 38. Anthony says, Days, if I put on a fake accent, will I get a title match? Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. It's got to be borderline racist. It's got to be to the point where it's acceptable. Do you know what I mean? But there's still people that are going to be uncomfortable with it. I think that's how you get a title match. Shad needs the Warrior Award. That's an excellent, excellent shout. He really does. He really does. Because that was, I think, May. I mean, it wasn't long after last year's WrestleMania, but obviously we didn't get a Hall of Fame. So you're absolutely right. He does deserve that Warrior Award. Right, Kevin Owens show with Sami Zayn coming up next. So that tag match, I'm afraid, just didn't do it for me. But Apollo pins Big E, and it's just to build that story. Kevin Owens show with Sami. Let's see what these two. This could be another great match that gets added to WrestleMania. I have never heard a horse fart, says William. Peacock have been censoring WWE shows. Yes, they have. They have. It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult because there is some stuff that's pretty uncomfortable now. So you kind of look at it and go, is it right to do that? I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a difficult one. We don't shy away from any difficult topics. I'll quite happily talk about anything. That is one that I don't have an answer on. Are they right to do it? I don't know. I mean, they're saying that it doesn't fit in with their values. So on that regard, I can understand them going through and taking out anything that doesn't represent them. I mean, they've paid a lot of money for that footage, and in a way, it's very proactive rather than reactive. Because you know what the world's like now. Everyone gets offended at everything, and there is some stuff in there that isn't good. In all fairness, that is questionable, even if it's not outright racist, or isn't outright offensive to everyone. There is some questionable stuff in there. I mean, for example, the Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 6 was half black, half white. And so it was kind of like blackface, which is obviously unacceptable. But the reason he did it, I heard, was because it was being made about race. So I think Bad News Brown was trying to make out that he represented black people. So I think he was trying to make out that he represented black people. And there was a bit of a race element coming into the match. So Roddy wanted to do it to show that he represented everyone. He didn't just represent white people, he represented black people as well. It was a statement that was very misjudged. It's something that definitely shouldn't have happened. It's something that I could understand offends people, and is something that I remember even watching as a kid made me like uncomfortable. Like, why has he done that? So them censoring that, it hasn't been censored before. Like, you could watch it on the WWE network. So is it right now that Peacock are censoring it? I mean, to my knowledge, no one has complained. But they're being proactive rather than reactive, so you have to applaud that. And it is uncomfortable. This is what I'm saying. Even if you look at it and you go, it's not outright racist, but then it could be. It could be. It's difficult. I think context is important, and I think the context was a positive context. The visual, the optics are still not good. I think that's how it comes down to. I think within context, I think Roddy was trying to do something positive. The optics, the visual isn't good. I don't know. I'm torn on it. I don't have an answer on it, to be honest. Right, we've got Edge talking to Adam Pearce now. Adam Pearce says, my responsibilities are to WWE. They're not to you. So we should get an answer tonight. Let's hope you make the right decision, says Edge. Or else. I like this Edge. Edge with an edge. I like this Edge with an edge. NBC and Peacock are right to take out the racial slurs. There's no debate. Stuff like that should be removed, says LSW. Jeff R said he painted half his body black so he could cut a promo on himself because Brown couldn't cut a good promo. He's cut. I think as that has become more uncomfortable, and as that has become questioned more, I think Piper has added more and more reasons as to why he's done it. I've 100% read him saying that he did it to represent all people. It is true that the promo thing as well, because I have also seen that now that you mention it. Yeah, it's difficult. Retribution says it should be removed. Okay, so Kevin Owens is calling out Sammy. Here comes Sammy. Jonathan says people are too sensitive. It's like get some thicker skin. If you watch some 70s cowboy movies, then you'll see some pretty offensive stuff. Okay, so Sammy says, I had no business kicking you that hard, and he is apologizing to Kevin Owens. So this is quite interesting. Is this going to lead to a match? He says, I'm sorry. So he's apologized. Okay, Kevin says, that's not what I want an answer to. Sammy says, I know what your question is going to be. You're going to ask about should I still be part of this documentary? Or can I still be part of this documentary? It's big. Big news. Next week. Red carpet premiere next week for the documentary. Sammy is going to expose the whole thing. There's more? Logan Paul gets a mention? He's into the documentary. Sammy said he's going to help me get the word out. He's going to be on the show next week, Logan Paul. What the flip? Look what you've done. Look what you've done. Oh, you all thought supporting Bad Bunny was good. Oh, no harm will come of Pat McCarthy being on NXT. Well, now you've got Logan Paul. I hope you're happy. Although I do go back to what I said earlier. There could be worse. There could be worse. But it still feels bad. Logan Paul. Wrestling's dying. Wrestling's dying. Someone put it down. Someone take wrestling round the back of the shed. Goodbye, my old friend. Oh my God. Logan Paul next week. Yay! Wrestler Logan Paul next week. Why is he on SmackDown? Logan, put him on Raw. If we're going to have him, put him on Raw. Don't put him on SmackDown. Don't ruin SmackDown. You, me. 1-on-1 at WrestleMania. Yes or no? Sammy? Sammy says you're making a big mistake. Sammy is pleading with Kevin Owens. This is great for Sammy, by the way. A singles match at WrestleMania. That's brilliant. Sammy says yes. That would be class, wouldn't it? Days, Logan Paul is the most Monday Night Raw thing ever. I know. If someone was to say, can you explain Raw to me? I'd be like, Logan Paul. You're absolutely right. It is the most Monday Night Raw thing ever. What celebrity is pretty good but just does the odd thing wrong? That's SmackDown. It's pretty good. Like, people really like it, but it's not perfect. That's SmackDown. Raw is definitely Logan Paul. I'm trying to think of a celebrity that does quite a bit right, but just the odd little what? Britney comes to mind. Like, she does a lot of good stuff, but then there's a few things going on in her personal life, and there's a few bits, there's a bit of drama there, and you just kind of go, huh? But, you know, rest of the time, hit me baby one more time. Do you know what I mean? That's all good stuff. Toxic. It's all good. In fact, at times, it's very good. People love Britney. Now we've got Daniel having a chat with Adam Pearce. Hang on. Didn't Daniel say he wasn't going to leave the ring? Until he gets added. And Adam Pearce said, I'll think about it. And that was it. That was it. It's only just dawned on me that he left the ring. Right. Logan is better than Jake. Jesus. There's not much there, is there? Do you know what I mean? There's not much there. That's like saying getting a low blow once is better than getting a low blow twice. Joaquin Uribe says, Days, you said you like boxers in WWE. How do I even answer that? Logan Paul has never faced anyone proper in boxing. So I'm not sure we can class him as a boxer at this stage. What is he doing? He's facing Mayweather soon. He can't be involved in this at the moment. Shouldn't he be like training 24 hours a day? Shouldn't he be like writing his will? Why is he here? Going Go says WWE always falls back on Kevin Owens versus Sammy when they don't have anything else planned for them. It's overdone. What are your thoughts? Yes, I wish there was something else for them both, because I think they've got hundreds of superstars. Why do we keep going back to this? But this always delivers. And this is like heel Sammy against face Kevin. And I don't know, we've seen that dynamic. So slightly different to what we've seen before. Been a while since we've seen it before. Always delivers. And I'm just pleased that both guys are going to be in a good singles match. That match could steal WrestleMania. Straight up, that match could steal WrestleMania. That could be the match of WrestleMania. So it's hard to be upset by it when it potentially could be the best match on the card. So, yeah, I suppose I wish it was something different, but it's not Logan Paul. It's not Logan Paul. I am. What I will say is I am a little bit torn, right? Because Logan Paul, if they tell the story right, does have a wrestling background, does have some boxing training, and as we said, he has got some skills. So if they tell, and he is about to step into a ring with Mayweather, so he should be in great shape. He should be in training right now. I mean, I'm so torn because I think he's cringe, and I don't think it's a good look for wrestling. But then he is popular. He does get a lot of views. He has got a big fan base, and he is training at the moment. So I'm torn on it. But my initial reaction is that it's horrific. Get your halftime scores. Get your halftime scores. Rick E245 says, I would rather see Tyson Fury than Logan Paul. Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's the heavyweight boxing champ of the world. I would also rather see the heavyweight boxing champ of the world than Logan Paul. 7 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 says Sonny. 7.5 says Nico Guy. Fox Advertising. The NASCAR Cup Series. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Is Logan getting power bombed like Machine Gun Kelly? Oh, maybe. Maybe. Because Owens did that to Machine Gun Kelly, didn't he? That's a good shout. Good memory. I hate to admit this. I would back up Cena over Bad Bunny, says Intelligence. Lyrical Justice says 5 out of 10. Austin says 7. Amir said Days KSI better come back to beat up Logan. Joe Fam says 8. Well, do you know what? Like, if they did a YouTuber match in WWE, would that do something? It's hard, isn't it? What if they did Jake versus KSI in WWE? That might be... Is that something they need to do? I don't want to see it. I don't know. They need a classic ladder match at Mania, says Tab. I'm just thinking about how successful the boxing YouTube matches are. Those boxing YouTube matches are wildly successful. People are going to tune in big numbers to Ben Askren against Jake Paul. So could WWE learn from that and do a YouTuber versus YouTuber? I don't know. I don't know if I want that. I don't. The thing with boxing, I think part of the reason why boxing works is because someone could get knocked out and then it's like, how do they react? Do you know what I mean? Someone could get embarrassed. They're not going to get embarrassed in WWE because they can always say it's scripted. But if you get knocked out in boxing, how do you bounce back from that? So it doesn't translate, does it? Jennifer Lockhart says, I'm going to give this 7 out of 10. You missed it earlier, but heads up, I can hear the TV sometimes. Jennifer, shout out to you. I will keep that under control. Hope you are well. Hope Lorelei is well. Draven Dresden said, I would rather gouge my own eyes out with a rusty plastic spork. Now, does plastic go rusty? This is where we need Rusty Shackelford. He would be my go-to rusty person. Can plastic rust? The plastic has been in contact with rust in mess, so it should be bottom of the chair. What? How to remove rust from plastic? Why plastics do not rust. Plastic cannot rust. But depending on the polymers, they can oxidize or turn brown, but they can't rust. What material will not rust? Why plastics do not rust. Plastic, being non-reactive material when left exposed to moisture and air, does not react with air and water, which is essential for corrosion, therefore does not rust. Plastic cannot rust. So you would rather gouge your eyes out with a rusty plastic spork, which can't happen anyway, than have anything to do with Logan Paul. And yes, I'm aware of precisely what I said. That is a round of applause for self-awareness. Self-awareness gets a round of applause. Wonderful. Draven Dresden would rather gouge his eyes out with a rusty plastic spork, fully knowing that that's not possible. That is wild. You've built in. That was wonderful. You built into your comment there. Self-awareness. Let Him In said, I learnt something new today. We all have. We've all learnt that Logan Paul is going to be on the show next week. Right, we've got Bianca made her way down to the ring. I have no idea what we're getting now. What are we getting now? Is it... Someone says Billy Kay. Have we got Billy Kay? A YouTuber match in WWE would be... No, it's Natalya. The most beautiful car crash of all time. Right, Belair versus Natalya. Right, Belair against Natalya. I'd imagine Natalya's been working quite a bit with Belair. Harley said, Dave, you don't realise how much he has matured. Even KSI respects him now. He isn't the same. Trust me. He is likeable now. He isn't the cringe kid anymore. Are you in a relationship with him? He's changed. He's changed. I promise he's changed. He's told me that he's changed. You don't love him like I love him. He's not the same person. Why won't you just give him a chance? Listen, he might have changed. It's going to take a long time for him to change his reputation, though. Certainly to the wider world that don't have anything to do with him. To me, he's still forest man going off to Japan and, doing stuff you shouldn't do. Belair looking for a pin on Natalya. But if he has changed, that's good. I respect that. I want the Riot Squad. The Bianca Bailey feud was better than this one. It's boss time. Here is all legs. Look at that. Banks in a shorts. She loves showing up. She's got great legs, in all fairness. Fair play. She looks great. So, who's the EST? The boss. It's boss time. Banks has come down. Yeah. Days, did you see last week's SmackDown? I did. Did I like last week's SmackDown? I can't remember. I don't think I did. I used to like Logan until the Japan thing. Says WWE Ellis. It should be Jackson Baszler versus Riot Squad. Versus Natty and Tamina versus Mandy and Dana for the women's tag title, says Drift Lewis. Really want Tamina to finally get her moment, says Carlos09E. Lena Dela Cruz says Days dream match in location. What if we had a match between Braun and Shane in a barnyard match? Wouldn't that be nice? I'd be interested in that, yeah. I think cinematic matches like that are real in real locations and different location, that would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah, I'd see a barnyard match. William says, Uncle Pervy Days. I say that because Monica isn't here. Hang on, why am I pervy? I'm just saying she's got nice legs. I'm complimenting her. Robert says, Days, your thoughts. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of the Fiend Bray Wyatt, but the rumours about Bo being the Fiend is confusing. What are your thoughts? I'm not confused by those rumours. I think people think he looks a little bit smaller. He seems to be wearing a bit of padding or something, like his movement seems to be a bit more limited. So people have jumped to the conclusion that it could maybe not be Bray in there. And in all fairness, that does make sense because Bray... So, I mean, I don't really ever think about it anymore, but my understanding was that Bray had learnt to control his darkness. Okay? So when we first saw Bray, he said, I've learnt to control it. I've learnt to control my darkness. Do you want to see it? And he showed us the Fiend. Now, my understanding is that the Fiend is a spirit that has possessed the body of Bray. We see it possess Alexa as well, but it's a spirit that has possessed him. When that body was burnt, was that not Bray's body being burnt? That wasn't... The Fiend isn't, to my knowledge, a separate being. It's, in the sense of it's got its own body. It has to occupy Bray's body. So when that fire happened, yes, the Fiend was being killed, the spirit of the Fiend, whatever, but it was Bray's body that was being burnt. So it would make sense if it is Bo that's actually underneath all that, because how do you bring Bray back? You burnt him. You burnt him alive. You burnt his body alive. How do you bring Bray back? The thing is, I've stopped caring or thinking about it because it is supernatural. This is a supernatural storyline. So if Bray comes back, Bray's back. That's it. So it actually makes a bit more sense if it is Bo. And I think it's quite intriguing if it is Bo. But there's nothing to say that it's Bo. There's nothing to suggest that it's Bo, other than fan theory. And time after time after time that has been wrong. Look at Liv Morgan and all the tweets that she was sending out and how much excitement there was around her becoming Sister Abigail. And she wasn't. And then it turned out she was never going to be Sister Abigail. It turned out that she was just sending them tweets out, and there'd never been any discussion to make her Sister Abigail. So we've been down these roads so many times. It could be Bo. It's probably not Bo, but it could be Bo. And I don't mind Bo joining the Funhouse or whatever. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But so yeah, my thoughts. I don't think it's confusing. I just think that it's Bo in a mask and a suit, and there's a bit of padding, and they're trying to make you think it's Bray. There's a way they can do it. There's a way they can do it, and actually, there's a way that it makes even more sense than if it was Bray. I don't know what that means for Bray if it turns out to be Bo. I don't know how we bring Bray back, but maybe that's one for them to worry about in the future. But I don't think it is Bo anyway. I don't think it is Bo. But it's definitely a fan theory that's getting more and more support. Lovely drop kick there by Belair. We was at commercial break. We are back now. SmackDown main event both nights of WrestleMania, says David Connolly. Jim says, is it me or does Sasha sound like she's got a cold? I've not heard her. She is on commentary. Randy burned a member of the family in the fire at the house he burned. There's going to be 2 now. Days, do you agree Sasha versus Belair main event night 1 at Mania. Do you? Yes, I do. Yes. Did anyone else see them confirm Banks Belair main event? I haven't seen them confirm that, no. Sonny said it is Bray. The people that make the masks and the people close to Bray have admitted that it's Bray. Oh, wow, there you go. Another wild fan theory. Toronto Raptors against the Suns. Oh, I haven't even been following the Raptors much. And I saw they weren't doing well at the start of the season. I don't know where they are now. Right, Natalya gets picked up. She tries to reverse, but Belair goes for the pin. Natalya kicks out. Nothing about it is Bo, says Butterspark. Face first goes Natalya. Plastic can't, Tyler Rust, says Rotem. Mike Ziegler says, Days, SNW and LVW are 2 up-and-coming wrestling promotions here in Canada that have grown in popularity since late 2015. I recommend Googling them. Honestly, I've never heard of them, bud. But that's good if wrestling's going well. Slapped by Belair. Banks goes down. She seemed to go down quite hard. Forearm strike by Belair on Natalya. The kiss of death by Belair wins it. So Belair beats Natalya. As she should. Backstabber by Sasha. Sasha with a backstabber on Belair. This is better. I don't get it. Bianca can pin Natalya, but not Tamina, says Nofreeze. Harley said, Days, Sasha said she can't believe she is about to main event. Well, that's not WWE confirming it, though. That sounds like Sasha trolling. That sounds like Sasha winding up the people that know that she isn't. Edge is here. Edge has walked into Roman's dressing room. I like this. This is much better by Edge. Roman says, I'm going to let the pit bull off his leash. And Edge says, how did that work last week? Edge says, here's the deal. Edge says to Roman, if you've got any stroke, you might want to use it now because all of a sudden, I don't have to beat you for the title. I just have to beat him if he's involved in a triple threat. It's really interesting. It's a great story, and I don't know where it's going to settle. I mean, he is absolutely right. If it is a triple threat, that's the problem. I mean, if it's a triple threat, Edge wins, he pins Daniel. That's the problem. So I don't want that match for that reason. But Roman is refusing to work 2 nights. Are they going to settle on Daniel Edge night 1, winner faces Roman night 2? I think they'll settle on that. But Edge ain't going to like that. I'm not sure Daniel's going to like that. I don't know. Maybe we should just get rid of the Universal Championship. Maybe that's the right way forward. We'll just get rid of it. I like turtles. Shout out to you, my friend. Lemuel says, hello, Days. When Shane attacked Braun on Raw, he grabbed a bucket of green slime. Did he borrow the slime from Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards? They could have sponsored that, in all fairness, couldn't they? It was such a Nickelodeon Choice Awards moment. It could have been in Nickelodeon buckets. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. That whole build and that whole match it's awful. In fact, I said the WrestleMania card looked great. Apart from the Bad Bunny match, my brain won't even acknowledge that feud. It's got to the point where my brain just completely eliminates it. So, yeah, not good. Derek says, it's funny how Bianca and Sasha tried to be the first black women to main event WrestleMania. Then DNA results come back, and it turns out Ronda is the first black woman to main event WrestleMania. What do you mean? Has she got, like, black heritage and ancestry or something? I haven't seen any of that. I could see Ronda versus Burnt Fiend (brackets Bo) at Mania, and Randy does the RKO, lights go off, and then Original Fiend arrives with Randy being confused. Harley said, Days, it's been a good episode of SmackDown. What do you think? Yes, I think it's been good. Maybe didn't need the 6-man tag match. Other than that, there hasn't really been an OMG moment. So there's not anything I would necessarily be losing my mind over. It's just been really good storytelling. It's been a really solid episode. So yeah, good, really good. Are you streaming Povetkin versus White? Yes, I've been asked loads for that fight. So yes, we will be doing it. As I said at the start of the stream, I don't know if it'll be 2 separate streams or if it'll just be one. More than likely one, because we will just go from the one stream to the other. So yeah, I think it'll just be one stream. It's my birthday. Happy birthday, WWE Ellis 98. Robert said, do you think Edge will beat Roman for the championship? Yes, I think Edge is favourite, yes. Have you got the Goldberg Elite? I do have a Goldberg Elite, yes. We might not be talking about the same Goldberg Elite, but I do have one. Lauren said, what is happening with Bayley? We haven't had her for a few weeks now. She's still calling out Michael Cole, which I love. I love that. I love that she's calling out Michael Cole. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of that. So I'd be down for seeing that match. What WrestleMania won the poll? We are only 15 days away from WrestleMania. What WrestleMania won the poll? So on Sunday, we will be watching WrestleMania 15. WrestleMania 15. We get to see a man hang another man. Well, maybe not, because Peacock might have took it off. You see, this is the problem. Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? You're letting other people dictate and censor what happened, and that makes me uncomfortable as well. Not a fan of it. Not a fan of it. I mean, I don't like that moment where he hangs the boss man, but I don't know, you're letting other people choose what we get to, I don't know, what gets to be seen. Oh, I don't know, I don't like it. Anyway, WrestleMania 15, that is what we're watching on Sunday. WrestleMania is actually mega stacked with matches, says Dorian. My problem with Edge being champion is what feuds is he going to have after? He's going to win the bout just so Roman can win it back. Yeah, I mean, he could face Seth. But, or Sammy. I mean, he could face some faces. They are kind of making him a bit of a tweener now. But, yeah, I would rather Roman. I would rather Roman retain. I like Beyonce, says Christopher. I heard she likes you as well. There is a Peeps flavored Pepsi, and I'm going to throw up, says Sonny. Roman versus Edge at the moment. The only place that you can watch WrestleMania is on Peacock. Right, we got the Dirty Dogs. I'd love to know how many. I wonder, is there a way of telling anymore? They'll still know how many tuned in to WrestleMania, won't they? They'll still know how many watched. Right, Dirty Dogs versus the Mysterios. This is probably another match that will be made for WrestleMania. Bailey versus Cole Happen days. Remember the Michael Cole trying to win AJ Lee and was commentating in a box. The coal mine. I do remember. William says, I wonder what a Days Pepsi flavor would taste like. Very underwhelming. A little bit bitter. That'd be about it. Yeah, underwhelming and bitter, like a lemon. It'd be lemon. Be lemon, sour, bitter. Maybe quite weak lemon. Weak lemon. Cause do you know what I mean? You'd be expecting it to be a case whereby, this is going to be brutal, and you have it, and you're like, oh, actually, I can't really taste anything. No, I can. Oh, there's a little bit. Yeah, that would be it. Right. Dominic carrying his dad to the ring. Dominic carrying his dad, the legend Rey Mysterio, to the ring. Awful. Awful. Peacock is blocked in Canada, so therefore Canadians won't be able to watch WrestleMania. No, it'll be on your network. You've still got the WWE network, haven't you? Silly Billy. It's only Americans that have to watch it through Peacock. Rotem says, will you do a predictions video for NXT Stand and Deliver? Yeah, I think there's a good chance we'll do that. It's 2 nights in it, so there's plenty to talk about. So, yeah. Love that Eddie Guerrero t-shirt, says Liam. You can get Peeps flavored Pepsi, apparently, says WWE Elias98. I've never had a Peep, so I don't know what a Peep flavored Pepsi would taste like. I like Keisha, says Christopher. It's a name I haven't heard in a while. Actually, do you know what? I thought this was Dirty Dogs against Mysterios. It's actually just Dolph versus Rey. So there we go. It is just Dolph versus Rey. Dolph Ziggler versus Rey Mysterio. This is actually the matches. These are the matches I don't like. If there was something about wrestling that I'd really try and change, it'd be these sort of matches. Just I do love Rey's attire, though. I heard some at break. Dolph throws Rey over the barricade. Definitely onto something, because I heard a noise. I like trains. And a super kick to Dom as well, yes. Throw some Peeps in a microwave and then you'll see what happens. I don't think we have them in the UK. I don't think we have Peeps. Ziggler powerbombed Rey onto the concrete, says Knob Freeze. Days, it's bring your son to work day again. Carlin says Rhea would win and her first defense will be against Charlotte. Says, watch your mouth, like on Raw Talk last week. Dorian said he slapped his leg. Well, it was a nice little moment where he gets thrown over the barricade. Just going to further this feud. He spelled Ziggler wrong. Who is Dolph Ziggler? Who is Dolph? This is what everyone's asking. Who is Dolph Ziggler? It's a better name, Dolph Ziggler. Days, you're not missing anything with peeps. They're nasty. Oh, is that your Lacey Evans impression? They're nasty. Rusty plastic spoons versus horsepower has just been announced for WrestleMania. The rusty plastic spoons. That sounds like the greatest folk band ever. Hey, we're the Rusty Plastic Spoons, and this is our first song. It's called Kumbaya. And they play the spoons, definitely rusty ones. In my mind, I just straight away went to them playing the spoons on their legs. Thigh slapping. That would be the name of the album. Just playing the spoons on their thighs. With Rusty Spoons, this is our debut album, Thigh Slapping. Oh. Dominic was wearing an Eddie shirt and a Ray backpack. He's a huge wrestling fan. Honestly, Dominic Mysterio is a massive wrestling fan. You're right. He had an Eddie shirt and a Rey Mysterio. They should sell them on WWE Shop. Could you imagine if you could get your own Rey backpack? Huge, just like this massive Rey Mysterio. You just walk around, like carry a tent in there. Amazing. You could be doing like a marathon or something with like a Rey Mysterio on your back with his head wobbling around. With all your supplies, your waters, your map. Do you need a map for a marathon? Don't know. Please respond. I've never done one. Days, you missed Mike Ziggler's super chat. Mike Ziggles super chat. Days, can you shout out my buddy Mass Branzit? Shout out to Mass Branzit. Hopefully you don't go the same way as Mass Transit, who infamously was a kid who lied about his training and his age and ended up getting absolutely brutalized in a match. So shout out to Mass Branzit. 19 minutes to go. 19 minutes. R. Stovall says gold-plated spoon. Oh, they've gone up in the world. They were broken and rusty a minute ago. Now they're gold-plated. William says, I always thought that Ray and Carly would have been a great tag team. That would have been a good tag team. Right. Is this our main event match? They didn't really announce any matches, did they? So I don't quite know what we're getting as our main event. I mean, obviously we've got Adam Pearce with his decision. So we've got that still to come. Days, I heard Drew Roman is set for SummerSlam. Right, Ray up in the corner. Dolph looking for a superplex. So that spot where Ray was just thrown over the barricade, that was just one of them let's go to a commercial break moments. Days, can you shout out my best friend, Jack Jester? Done. What a great name. Seated senton by Ray. Ray's attire makes me think of Sega. I think it's the lettering. Sega. Goes for the cover. Doesn't get the 3. Days, can you shout out my friend? Madong is long. He's from Japan and he loves your stream. I love Midong is long. Big fan. Is he from Japan? I thought he was from Thailand. I'm sure I've had a conversation with her. Midong is long. Oh, face first. Michael says, can I get a shout out? Shout out to you. Michael Marone. Is it Marone or Marone? Please respond. Right, we've got Dolph down, Ray down. Days say Sega. Sega. Oh, what is it? It is Sega? What do you call it? Cigar. Cigar. Adidas. Nike. Cigar. I don't know what your weird pronunciations are. Drop kick by Ray. Are you going to fix the spelling or not? No, I think Dolph Ziggler is wildly popular. Shoulder up by Ray. Wait, WrestleMania 15. I haven't seen that one in ages. Yeah, I'll be good. Spell idiot. But you've written it for me. That's not much of a test, is it? If you actually write it down for me. They're giving this match some time. We say Sega. What? Right. Yeah, this is boring. I'm bored. 619. Big splash by Ray. 1, 2, 3. Boom. There we go. Ray wins. Bobby Roode was trying to get in the ring, but Dominic was holding him back. And Ray wins. Well done to him. Shout out to Colin Amos. Colin Amos. Bring back face Ziggler, says Brony. Are you ready? Here's Adam Pearce. Are you ready for a good time? Well, decisions need to be made. Here comes Roman. Right. What the flip do I put here? Reigns, Edge, Bryan. That'll do. Reigns, Edge, Bryan. Here is where WrestleMania goes to poop. Adam Pearce is sweet like apple pie. How much are you excited for WrestleMania? I'm very excited. I think the card looks great. I think the main event matches look awesome. I don't think they're totally predictable. I think there's definitely firm favorites, but yeah, there's loads of potential with it. 2 nights as well. It's great. Really excited. It's just a shame we've not had fans. Do you know what I mean? Thanks for the shout out. No worries. Drew Galloway. There we go. 11 positive vibes. Head of the kiddie table. Adam Pearce decision next. He's going to say triple threat. Triple threat. What do you think? What do you think? Is he going to say triple threat, or is he going to say Edge versus Daniel night 1? It's got to be one or the other. It's one or the other. Roman said he won't work both nights. So it's either Edge, Daniel winner faces Roman, or triple threat, surely. Which way are they going? Which way are they going? Fatal 4 with Sheamus, but that would be strange. Well, if he suddenly goes, right, it's not going to, don't worry, it's not going to be a triple threat. It's going to be a fatal 4-way, and I'm going to add a Raw superstar. What if he goes, do you know what? You've all upset me so much, we're not doing any match. We're not doing any match. None of you are going to be at WrestleMania. Gather round and witness the debonair devastation of such exquisite sophistication. Aiden English Simon Gotch, the Vaudevillain. I loved the Vaudevillains. I was a real fan of them. I thought they were a really interesting gimmick. Real men. Edge Daniel, night 1, winner, faces Roman, night 2, says LS Dub. Bert Spark said, I hope it's not the triple threat. I like Edge's heel, says the Fire God Scorpion. Add Logan Paul, says Cheese Whiz. Add Logan Paul. Triple threats. Shirley, my favorite old-time lady wrestler, says Rob M. It's going to be a triple threat, Shirley. I hope it's a triple threat, but with a ladder, says James Horrocks. Days Zayn and Owens haven't feuded for 5 years. It's time. And now the tables have turned. Wes Heron has said, I've sent you a DM. Better not be those pictures again, Wes. I warned you last time. Shout out to you, Wes. Austin said, I hope night 1, Edge Bryan to face Roman, or Roman gives Bryan a match on SmackDown. Don't make it a triple threat. Cameron said, Daniel never won against Roman. He lost. So I just want Roman Edge. Yeah, could you imagine if Adam Pearce goes, I've decided it's Roman Edge. Sorry, Daniel. That's it. End of the show. Sami Zayn's red carpet premiere with special guest Logan Paul. Oh, there's a graphic. That's the face that I make. One of the smartest men in the world. What the flip? Daniel getting added to the match honestly ruins the match. Bayley is included in the promo for WrestleMania, but who is she going to face? She might do something with Michael Cole. That would be a WrestleMania moment. Imagine if Bayley comes down and calls out Michael Cole, and there's a little moment between them at WrestleMania. You think you know me? Roman very unimpressed that he was being made to wait there by Edge. I like Edge with an edge. Pyro for Edge. Roman keeping an eye on Edge. I mean, like, I do love this fight. Both of these guys feel huge. Let's get it one-on-one match. Let's get this sorted. Who's the best? Who's the best? One-on-one? That's what I want. Days, they're going to give the 24/7 belt to Logan. Oh, yeah, probably. You're probably right, Bembo. You're probably right. Philip says, hopefully we get a multi-man ladder match for the US title. I would like a ladder match. Yeah, I would like a ladder match. US title. I think we are going to Riddle, Sheamus, but they could always add more. Of course they could always add more. That's the WWE way. Oh, look, we've got a really good match here with Roman and Edge. Let's add more. Oh, look at this. We've got 2 hours of Raw and people are loving it. Let's add more. Oh, look, we've got an hour of NXT. Let's add more. Oh, this one day of WrestleMania. Let's add more. Oh, have you seen this one day of NXT? Let's add more. More TakeOver, more WrestleMania, more Raw, more people in the main event. More. That's what Vince chants. Vince chants more. The fans are going, yes, and Vince is more. Have you got enough money? No, more. Have you got enough TV time? No, more. Have we got enough superstars on the roster? No, more. Maybe that's all he does. Right. Edge, Roman. Ooh. Where's this going to go? He's going to say triple threat. Triple threat. He'll say triple threat. Just to upset Austin. Everything makes sense. He's right. Roman unimpressed. Everyone's right. We've learned that everyone's right. Roman, you're right. You can only fight once. Daniel, you're right. You was cheated. Triple threat. Triple threat. For that championship. Here we go. Triple threat. Triple threat match. Edge isn't happy. Roman isn't happy. No one's happy. Daniel's happy. So, triple threat. So, it is triple threat. Isn't what Edge wanted. Isn't what Roman wanted. Daniel will take the pin. Or the loss. But who's going to do it? Does Roman retain or does Edge win? Is this how it ends? Is this how it ends? Is this how the Roman reign ends? He loses his championship by Edge pinning Daniel. Ugh. 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 Spear by Edge. Edge is spearing everyone. Ah, you cursed it. I think it was going that way, bud. I think it was always going that way. Boo Bryan. Yeah, I loved no wonder Edge just snapped to me, and Edge wins the Rumble to fight for the title, and now he's got to deal with Daniel Bryan. He's looking for a double concerto. A man that will stop at nothing to achieve his goal. Honestly, this Edge is great. This Edge is great. I love this Edge. So, Daniel Bryan was trying to crawl away. Edge grabs him, drags him back into the ring, drops an elbow. This is awesome, says Ultimate Wrestling Fan. Thumbs down from those kids act dumb. Now he's attacking officials. So Edge sits in the ring. Edge with an edge. The show started with Daniel sat in a chair. It's ending with Edge sat on a chair. It's good. It's good. Just a real super close-up of Edge going... I wonder if that's the kind of face that Beth Phoenix has to put up with when Edge realizes there's no milk in the house or all the bread's gone or something like this. She turns around and there he is. Just go to the shop. It's not a problem. It's only up the road. Heel turn. I'm not getting heel turn vibes. I'm getting tweener vibes. Supreme Rose says Edge pins Daniel to protect Roman's momentum. Edge is on the edge of glory. That end, though. That end. Why a triple threat? Because more! More, we need more! Well, I think it is honestly, literally to protect both guys. Daniel is there to take the pin. Daze, you should sit on a chair to end the show. I am on a chair. Wow, sofa. Sofa chair. Michael, shout out to you. Daze, no doubt it's a good story. No doubt it'll be a great match. And it's kind of unpredictable because Bryan is the only face. Surely WrestleMania ends in a good way. I still see Edge as a face. I see him as a tweener. Edge is frustrated and it's all completely understandable. I don't look at Edge's actions as a heel or something I should be booing. He won the Rumble. He gets to fight for the title. Now he's having to deal with Daniel Bryan. And as Edge said earlier, you came in here trying to act like the knight in shining armor. And it's true. That's exactly what Daniel Bryan has tried to do. Kind of make himself to be the underdog and all this kind of stuff. I mean, like, if anything, it's Daniel that's the heel. Because Daniel has had opportunity and not got the job done. And so now he's threatening to, not leave the ring. He's threatening to, occupy SmackDown. Because he feels wronged. Don't know, man. I don't know. I can't agree that Edge is out and out heel. I haven't seen anything yet from him that makes me hate him or think I think he's frustrated. I've seen him attack officials, but who cares about the officials, in all fairness? They're all idiots. So I kind of feel that he is a tweener. I agree. If you think about it, you've got Roman as an outright heel. You've got Bryan as an outright face. And you've got Edge in between. You've kind of got all of the spectrum covered. So I kind of think that Edge could win. I think Daniel's in to take the pinfall. And I think that it's either going to be Edge or Roman that pins him or submits him. I don't know which way it goes, but I feel pretty confident it'll be Edge that does it. But who knows? They might have added Daniel because they don't want Edge to take the loss. And so it's going to be Roman that beats Daniel. So there is still a bit of unpredictability about it. But I don't know which way it goes. But I would feel more that it's more likely to be Edge. Let's put it that way. It's more likely to be Edge. Mike said, thanks for the stream. It's time to go and give the old lady a pickle tickle. See you for tomorrow's stream, my friend. Sunny Wolf says 8 out of 10. Hype Man says 10 out of 10. Interfan says 8. Isman said, guys, what happened? Mohammed said, my TV froze on Edge's face. That is freaky. So you've got him like doing all this. Oh, you don't need that. Jordan says 7.5. Jitin says 9. Hayden says 7. Elijah says 7. Wrestling Ghost says 5. Interfan says 8. Brad G says 8. LSW says 6.5. Let Him In says 7.5. Sonny says WTF is a pickle tickle. Elijah 7.25. R. Stovall says 7. Laurie says 8. 1987. Big Fan says 5. Harley said it's another match I would like anyone to win. I mean, Bryan because it's his last run. Roman because it's Roman. And Edge because of the story. So great match. Crazy Ginger Jake Holden says 7. Saman says angry face, angry face, angry face, angry face, angry face, angry face. Irma said, who's your favorite men and women's wrestler? Roman and Asuka. Jitin says Edge is going to win with Roman going to win it back at SummerSlam. Christopher says, I like Valerie. Days, I give it 7.8. We need to get you to millions. So Edward Brown, shout out to you, buddy. The multi 121 gives it an 8. Raju says 10 out of 10. Rated R Wrestling says 7.25. 5.9 because Edge is heel, says Ahmad. WWE Elias 98 says because of that ending, I give it 9.8. Alexander 7.75. Scott Turner 7. Darnell 6.75. I think this was a solid show. I think SmackDown doing SmackDown things. Don't think this was a disaster of a show by any means. I do think some of the matches, I think what they've got is a great story that ran through the show. I think the matches we got weren't matches I was hoping for, but what could they do? I mean, the matches are made. You know, Bianca versus Natalia is just to fill time, isn't it? It's just whatever. The Ziggler versus Rey Mysterio is just whatever. The 6-man tag is whatever. There was a lot of that tonight. A lot of the matches it's just to keep us ticking over to WrestleMania. But the story throughout the show was very good. So yeah, I thought that this was a good show. It started to lose me though towards the back end of the show. But I would still say that it was worth a watch. It was still solid. I still feel entertained. I'm feeling like a 7.25. I'm feeling like a 7.25. That might be a touch high because the wrestling wasn't. The action was okay, but it's just the matches weren't. Do you know what I mean? I wish that we were still having some matches that mattered. I wish that some of the matches were to decide stipulations or were to decide if someone was going to face someone at WrestleMania or were to decide something, anything. But it was all just missable match after missable match after missable match. So, yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Alex said people are turning on Bryan on Twitter. I don't think people wanted it. I don't think people wanted it. I think people were really into the idea of the great heel Roman, huge heel, taking on this big baby face, Edge. Who's going to win? 1-on-1. Is Edge the guy? And the problem is that if Edge pins Bryan, you know, Edge can't claim to be the best. So even if he wins the title, there's going to be that little asterisk, which granted would lead to a nice match, Edge Roman 1-on-1 down the road. But you kind of want WrestleMania to be the blow-off. You don't want WrestleMania to be part of a story. You want it to be the end of a story. So that's the problem. People wanted 1-on-1. Who's the best? It's like taking Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson 1-on-1. We're going to find out once and for all who's the best. Oh no, let's put in Lennox Lewis. And you go, hang on. I don't want Lennox Lewis in there. I want Tyson and I want Ali. And I want to know who is the best. Don't want Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis, yes, he's in the conversation. But let's deal with that after. Right? Let's sort this one first. Maybe the winner can face Lennox Lewis at Backlash or something. Right? But let's just do Ali versus Tyson 1-on-1. Find out an answer. No skullduggery. No messing around. So I can understand. I don't think people hate Daniel. They just hate the fact that they're now not going to get that answer, you know? And I don't think the yes movement is as strong at the moment because you can't do with Daniel the stuff they've been doing with Daniel and then easily switch it and turn it and make him this big fan favorite again. Because he's been messing about with Drew Gulak in storylines that no one cares about. Honestly, you turned the temperature down on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was bubbling away, doing lovely stuff. And then, like, he had to go away. He got injured. He did the GM stuff. Then he came back, lots of excitement. And then since he's come back, like, you've kind of messed around with the temperature a lot. Like, he's not bubbling away. We're not desperate to see Daniel in the main event like we were for WrestleMania 30. We want Daniel in a match, and we want him to do well, and we'd love to get back to the Daniel that we had. But you can't just all of a sudden turn up the temperature and expect that everyone's going to jump on board. Do you know what I mean? You can't just all of a sudden go, right, Daniel's back, everyone. The yes movement. Do you remember this, guys? Yeah! No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. So, yeah, I get it. I get it. But Daniel shouldn't take it as a personal thing. It's not an attack on him. It's just he's there to take the pin. It's a difficult situation. I'm sure he's there to take the pin or get submitted. But I don't know by who. Daniel sucks. Days, I can't wait for UFC, Miocic, and Ngannou tomorrow, says WWE Elias 98. Same boat, buddy. Same boat. Crazy Ginger Jake Holden says UFC tomorrow is huge. One of the biggest UFC fights ever. If you check Paul Heyman's Twitter, he basically has confirmed Rob Van Dam for the Hall of Fame. Oh. Stipe Francis is massive. Biggest fight this year, for sure. Robert said, I enjoyed the show tonight, and I enjoyed spending it with everyone here. That's nice, Robert. That's nice. I think I speak on behalf of everyone here, saying we enjoyed having you here. So shout out to you, Robert. Shout out to everyone that joined us tonight for SmackDown. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. And onwards we go. Didn't know what to expect, really. But that was a good story. And we are well on the way now to what I don't even know. Is there 2 weeks left? 15 days till WrestleMania. So there's only 2 SmackDowns left. And that's it. I mean, like, is it just me? It doesn't feel like we've had much of a build for WrestleMania. There's not been... Like, if you look back and go, what's been the big moments as we've built towards WrestleMania? What have they been? Shane and Braun? Bad Bunny? I mean, like, the build has been horrible, thinking about it. The matches are great. Royal Rumble was probably the biggest night, wasn't it? Where we got Edge winning and Bianca winning, and that really established some stuff. Other than that, everything else has just been... It's not been a good build. There hasn't been anything happen. I can't think of any kind of crazy moments. Especially if you've had The Fiend return for Fiend fans. But, yeah. Well, that's depressed me. We're going to end on a downer now. Doesn't matter. 2 weeks to go. WrestleMania still looks very, very cool. And, of course, tomorrow, UFC. I need to go off and do research for that. So I am going to bid you farewell. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate the support as always. I hope you had a great evening and enjoyed the stream. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.